Fine for him to fork over almost $500 million bond in his New York civil fraud case.
State Attorney General Letitia James won the judgment against Donald Trump in civil court and has said that if the former president doesn't have the money to pay, she would seek to seize his assets and was prepared to make sure that the judgment is paid.
Correspondent Julie Walker in New York. On Friday, Mr. Trump announced he had secured the bond money. The civil fraud case, part of what the former president says is a political vendetta against him, designed to hamper his White House campaign. He says it amounts to election interference. A group of men has been charged in Friday's deadly Moscow terror attack.
4 men accused of staging the Russia concert hall attack that killed more than 130 people appeared before a Moscow court on Sunday on terrorism charges, showing signs of severe beatings. One appeared to be barely conscious during the hearing. Court statements said 2 of the suspects accepted their guilt in the assault, though the men's condition has raised questions about whether they were speaking freely. There have been conflicting reports in Russian media outlets that said 3 or all 4 have admitted culpability. I'm Charles Villadesma.
The Israeli defense minister is in Washington today for talks with high-ranking officials of the Biden administration. They are discussing plans for the war in Gaza at a time when ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas have broken down, according to Arab mediators. Watching Wall Street ahead of this morning's opening bell, the stock futures are in the red. The Dow futures down 61 points. NASDAQ futures off 96 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-355-4107 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-355-4107. That's 800-355-4107. What do you have to lose? Call 800-355-4107. Again, 800-355-4107.
An opposition leader has emerged as the favorite to win Senegal's hard-fought presidential election.
Bassirou Diomaye Faye's supporters cavorted through the streets of Dakar, Ziguinchor and elsewhere when the early results came in on Sunday night. They're convinced their candidate has won a resounding victory with no need for a second round. But the official results are not yet out, so everyone is waiting. So far, Amadou Ba, the candidate of the governing coalition, is waiting too. He hasn't conceded. A win for Bassirou Diomaye Faye would be quite a story. Less than 2 weeks ago, he was still in jail. He's promising radical change for Senegal, and that seems to have been exactly what voters wanted.
And that's the BBC's James Copnall. Russia has launched missiles against Kiev for the 3rd time in 5 days, an apparent escalation of aerial bombardment of Ukrainian cities as the war stretches into its 3rd year. News and analysis, townhall.com. Chick-fil-A has backtracked from its decade-old no antibiotics ever promise.
The pledge was intended to help prevent human antibiotic resistance linked to the rampant use of the drugs in livestock production. Instead, the company says it will embrace a standard known as, quote, no antibiotics important to human medicine. The new pledge entails avoidance of such medicines commonly used to treat people and limits the use of animal antibiotics to cases of animal illness.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. It appears Nissan still believes the future is electric. The Japanese automaker plans to expand its electric vehicle lineup, develop more powerful batteries, and cut the cost of production. The company's chief executive describes the plan as the arc pathway to greater sales by 2030. And the automaker's target is to increase vehicle sales by 2030 by 1 million vehicles. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here? promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder, and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The abolition, what does he say? I'm on the Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yes.
Welcome to it.
Back to the grind, back to the work week, back to the school week. Really back to the school week, too.
Yeah, the spring break for the kids is over.
As nice as the break is.
Yeah.
And it's nice, don't get me wrong. This day back, sucks so much worse.
Yeah.
Like, if you just stick with the schedule and, Monday is Monday, that's fine. You're back now.
Right.
It's Monday again. Oh, it hurts so bad.
But it's a short week for them still.
Is it really?
Good Friday is Friday.
Oh, that's right.
Easter weekend is coming up. So,
I completely forgot.
So, in all fairness, this was not as bad as it could be.
That's
you're
true.
Like, hey, it's Monday, but really, only 4 days this week.
That is true.
So
enjoy your short week, kids.
You get it on the back end. But happy Easter week, I guess you could say. Holy
Happy
week.
Easter week,
Yeah.
huh? What the? Bell was jammed.
Well, you had last week. Remember,
I
Bill
know.
Williams was commandeering your bell.
It was like stuck on the wire, though, so like I couldn't push the button. He rigged it. I understand.
The Wire. That was such a good show.
Williams.
You know what? I think dudes my age finally stopped talking about The Wire about 5 years ago.
No, it once Breaking Bad came along, gave him something else to talk about.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Like, I remember throughout the 90s and 2000s. You ever watch Wire?
I'll be honest, I never did.
I did.
And the reason I never, I wanted to after everybody's like, you need to watch it's like going back and watching Citizen Kane. It's
Yeah.
like, sure, they like were the first ones to do all these great shots and creative filming, but it's been done so much better since then.
Yeah.
And it's just like, to see the first ones that did it, that'd be nice, but I don't know if I'm going to get the same joy out of it.
I think that's when the world realized Baltimore's a toilet.
Oh, that was what it was?
I think the public,
Right.
everyone in Maryland and East Coast kind of got it, but people out here started. Baltimore's kind of a scuzzy
Pretty
place.
sure the Orioles sealed that deal in the 80s.
No, that's the best thing in the town. Is Cal Ripken and the Orioles.
That's one thing that's always bothered me. I don't know why I hit that octave. That's one thing that's always bothered me, though, about the city of Detroit.
Uh-huh.
Everybody talks about what a cesspool and how decrepit it is. They have 17 professional sports teams.
Well,
New Mexico doesn't have a one. It's like, is it that bad?
It's just a city that they ebb and flow with the auto industry, and so it's like the oil and gas. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad.
I don't know. It just seems like with
deal.
a town with that much to celebrate shouldn't be that decrepit.
It's just got a lot of documentaries about all the nastiness that is Detroit and that Michigan area.
Right.
Between that and what's his name,
Flint.
Michael Moore.
Yeah, Michael Moore.
Doing his documentaries and all that. So, but yeah, because I think if people from and lived, they love Detroit. People that are from there
That's
and live
true.
there, and they're that's their place.
They're definitely loyal.
I imagine Detroit is like any other city. It's just we enhance the toilet part of it more than the nice part.
The spotlight doesn't been shined on it too many times, right?
Yeah, D.C. they shine, the Washington Monument, the White House, and the Capitol and all that. There's some places in D.C. you want nothing to do with. I'm just telling you right now. And it's just a few blocks from those beautiful cherry blossoms you're looking at.
Yeah, what do you think a facade is?
Yeah.
It's literally just a front.
Oh, well, I mean, even like back in the day where the Wizards and the Capitals play, the arena they play in, when they moved into DC about 20 years ago or so, whenever that was, 25 years ago, whenever, that part of town where the arena's at now was a complete not safe area. It was the edge of what was called Chinatown there.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a crime-ridden area. It was a bad area. It was just a few blocks off the quote-unquote the mall area where all the visiting stuff.
Kids, you getting in all this plight?
Yeah. But now it's really nice because now they put the arena there, and so now the slums have moved a few blocks away. But yes,
it's. I mean, there's very much like that in Vegas. Like there's a spot just past where Fremont is, just past where like where you can see the Strat.
Yeah,
and it's like they call it like Dark City. Right there's other names for it, but like it is like the worst part of town. Noon on a Tuesday is the worst place to be. You know what I'm saying?
I remember the last time I went to Vegas, Kim and I went, and we stayed like 4 or 5 days, which was, I think, about 2 days too long.
Right.
Once in all of the, and we stayed at the Aria, had a nice room and everything, and so most of the time we spent our time on that side of the strip, down in that area, MGM, and kind of where the main stuff of the strip is. But if you go to the far end, down by where the Stratosphere is, where you're talking about, we decided to venture up there one of the days we were there, and we were up by the Circus Casino and all that. And I'm telling you, like that part of the strip, at least when I was there, this was about 6 years ago. I don't know what it's like now. It reminded me so much of Vegas Vacation with the Guess My Number and I'll take some of the Yeller and all of that.
Yeah.
Like I was
off strip.
Like we walked into Circus and you could physically feel the depression suck you down in that place.
When you walk into Circus, it's not playing, but in your head you just hear slow calliope.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Oh, it's a horror film in there.
I don't care how.
But they had an Einstein bagel or something in there.
Did.
That's why I was all about being in.
It's the only one on the strip too. That's the only reason we went to Circus.
That's when we went. They got a bagel place. We'll go there. And then I was like, and I remember looking for, because I used to like play the Wheel of Fortune machine at the time, and that was like one of the casinos that still had it left.
Right.
You know, I was like, this is the saddest. I mean, I felt literally like, let's play war, and I was looking for that.
How bad do you want that schmear? Are you willing to stand next to a clown painting that looks like he's been doing heroin for 13 months?
Well, let's just say I only spent one day down at that end, and then we booked it back to our part of the strip there. So.
It's like that when you're a little kid and you know nothing. Like as an adult, nothing's in the dark.
Yeah.
But you do that thing where like you scurry through the dark just to get to the light part. You know.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! That's what Circus is.
Yeah.
You're just trying to scurry to get out of there so you can get back to humanity, you know?
It's what the cockroaches see when you turn the lights on.
That's right.
Now, granted, they may have upped their game in the last 8 to 10 years. I haven't been in there since then, but it was
still real rough.
It was sad place.
What's crazy?
I'm surprised it's still open and on the strip. To be honest, I'm like, why haven't they some corporate shut this? Because that's prime real estate.
Right.
If it
really is.
You know,
what's crazy is Circus is bad. There's a hotel behind Circus that is like the Circus outlet mall.
We don't go there.
It's so much worse. Like I saw a video of like these like the hall, like the carpet is stained. There's like stains on the wallpaper. It like the lights are flickering. It's like walking into an apartment in the projects.
It was the highlight of the strip in 1977.
But hey, they got a roller coaster.
I feel like all the people that lost out there, they go to Pawn Stars next to hawk their grass. They go farther up the strip to the Pawn Stars pawn shop.
I wonder if that place still has the draw. Like I haven't been by. We didn't go by there when we were there that time.
Well, that time I went, it was very packed.
Well, the show was still on at that point. Like I don't know if it's still.
I think it's still on.
On in
I think
syndication.
It's on. It's different than it used to be. Like I don't think it's quite the same that it used to be, but it's still on. Yeah, the shows, they still show it.
I mean, I'd imagine they still show old episodes. Is Pawn Stars still filming, though?
I think they repackage it now. Like, I think they show, like...
Holy crap. Pawn Stars Season 23 is confirmed to be in the works, featuring the familiar cast of Rick, Big Hoss, and Chumley. Chumley's back. I thought he got arrested.
Oh, but he never left.
No, filming for Season 23 started in February.
There you go.
So
yes, here's still.
Never mind. Guess I'm never going to get to go to that pawn shop.
Well,
I'll just wait till the fuss dies down.
I went there. I got to go there. We did a tour thing. Mm-hmm. We signed up for a tour in Vegas that took us to the Pawn Stars place. It took us to the Counting Cars garage. Mm-hmm. It took us to the Tanked, that show Tanked on Animal Planet. Mm-hmm. It took us to their place. And it took us to the place it used to be on History Channel, the American Restoration Show.
Oh, really?
They took us to that place, too. So we got to see all those. And I saw Chumley.
And just to make it feel like you were at home, they showed you Tropicana commercials on the tour bus on the way there, right? Those were your commercial breaks?
Matter of fact, I saw Chumley. I was like from here to that flag of Chumley.
Dang.
So, and matter of fact, Rick was driving out when we were, I saw his black pickup truck driving and looked, and there was bald head Rick. Rolling out when we were rolling in, so we just missed Rick. But anyway, it's it looks way different than what you see it on the
right.
TV
Well, I'd
show.
imagine that front part is just like the facade. Plus, there's always I've never seen a sidewalk in Vegas that empty.
Well, and to be honest, most of the pawn stuff is behind counters and everything. Mm-hmm. All the floor space is filled with Pawn Stars T-shirts and Pawn Stars gear, like stuff you don't pawn, just Pawn Stars swag.
Best I can do is give you this T-shirt.
Yeah. so if you're there to buy paintings or jewelry or stuff, that's all behind the counters and all that. And they have 30 people that you can help. They got all these people that are actually helping doing that. And then you see the little spots where they do the filming, the 2-3 different main areas where they see that, and then that's pretty good.
I got Tom Hanks's original ColecoVision and a snow globe.
Yeah. But a lot of it's the Pawn Stars T-shirts and hats and swag and everything. So, let me give you the rundown for today's show. Actually, we need to get rolling with the hour here. We're going to replay our interview with Ed Harrell. Join me with a phone conversation. Current candidate for New Mexico CD2 seat, former representative in that seat. Had a great conversation with her last week, so we're going to play that for you here in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have the folks from Church on the Move join us. Pastor Troy and Sean will join us. They've got, of course, Easter services coming up this weekend, but they're also showing free screenings of the movie Passion of the Christ. They've got multiple showings coming up here, so we'll talk a little bit about that with them. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico is going to join us, and we got an update on a few things and a little tribute and little stuff. So we got quite a few things planned there. So she'll join us in the 9 o'clock hour to have some fun, do some celebrating and honoring of things and all that there in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the newses of the local variety, national variety, your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten here in just a few seconds, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But first, let's take a look at your weather. It's going to be a little cooler. Rain chance today, too, and kind of looks like it right now.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We do have a slight chance of a shower till about noon today following a cold front that's on its way through our area. Pretty gusty wind at 30 to 50 miles an hour. Afternoon high today in the upper 50s to low 60s. Overnight, cloudy and windy, our low dipping into the mid-30s. Still breezy on Tuesday, but not as windy. Low 60s on the afternoon high, sunny on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thanks, Steve. Currently 45 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 42% with west winds at 10 miles per hour. As I said, we do have a slight chance, 20% chance of some showers this afternoon. Partly cloudy, 57 our high today. Winds breezy out of the southwest, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Later shifting to the north. Tonight, we're looking at a 20% chance of showers, mainly before 10 p.m. Gradually clearing, mostly early, but gradually clearing. Looking at overnight low of 34 degrees. Winds will be out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tuesday, warmer, a little nicer, 62 and sunny. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 10 early, 15 to 20 for Tuesday afternoon. We're looking at a 20% chance of showers tomorrow night between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. The sweet spots there. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 38 degrees. West winds 10 to 15. Sunny and 58 on Wednesday. Winds out of the west, 10 to 15 early, 20 to 25 for the afternoon. Thursday, we're back up in the mid-70s under sunny skies, sunny and 76. And then by Friday, partly cloudy, 84 for a high on Good Friday. And the Easter weekend's going to be warm. Saturday, 84. Easter Sunday, 84 and breezy. So cooler to start the week and then warming up for the back half here. All right, 7:20, and then we're going to take a quick break here, get you in your Roswell Livestock Report, and then we're going to play our interview with Yvette Harrell. That's up next. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good March run this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves and light yearlings with condition. We expect to sell 1,600 head, breaking down like this: 175, 200 weighing cows and bulls, 125, 150 pairs of bred cows, 1,250, 1,300 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 38 cow-calf pairs from the Hobbs Ranch here southwest of Roswell. Excellent quality black, red, white face, and white face cows with Angus calves at side. Out of high quality bulls, these cows 9 to 10 years old. Nice set of short term cow calf pairs. 25 bred cows, Bruton Ranch, San Antonio, New Mexico. Excellent quality Charolais crossbred cows, bred to Charolais bulls, cows 2 to 9 years old. 38 calves, Jesse Brownfield here west of Roswell. Excellent quality black Angus calves, weaned 30 days, 2 rounds of shots, 300, 400 pounds. 39 calves, light yearlings, Mr. Oscar Vasquez, Malaga, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus, weaned, 1 round of shots, right off field, 600, 750 pounds. 90 calves, light yearlings, Azura Cattle Company, Morton, Texas. Good quality black, white face Angus crossbreds, cattle weaned 90, 100 days, 2 rounds shots, right off wheat, 400, 700 pounds. 56 calves and light yearlings of Bruton Ranch, San Antonio, New Mexico. Good quality Charolais crossbred calves, thin condition, 400, 650 pounds. 67 calves, Mr. John Woodburn, Pinon, New Mexico. Excellent quality Charolais crossbred calves, cattle weaned 30 days, medium condition, 350, 475 pounds. 28 calves, Marley and Whitney here west of Roswell. Excellent quality black, white face Angus crossbred calves, cattle weaned, 2 rounds of shots, 400, 550 pounds. 132 calves and light yearlings, the Baylor Ranch, Sierra Blanca, Texas. Good quality black Angus and Brangus crosses, 350, 650 pounds. And 33 calves, the Berry Ranch, Fort Stockton, Texas. Excellent quality black, white face, red, white face English crosses. Cattle weaned, 2 rounds of shots, bunk broke, 400, 550 pounds. Sale time this morning, 9 o'clock. Sell pairs, bred cows 10. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10:30 to 11. Next week's sale will be held on Tuesday in observance of Easter Sunday, and we expect to sell 1,600 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And welcome.
And he's from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
And welcome back to the morning show. And joining us on the phone this morning here, former representative representing New Mexico District 2 and current candidate for New Mexico District 2 representative seat, Yvette Harrell on the phone this morning with us this morning. Good morning, Yvette. How are you doing today? It's good to talk to you again.
I know, Mike. Thank you so much for having me. It's good to get caught up and get on the radio with you.
Yeah, how's it's been a while. What's I know obviously you're on the campaign trail, but what's what you been up to here recently and since you kind of been out of the spotlight a little bit here but now on the campaign trail, just find out what you've been up to in the recent months here.
Yeah, we've, it seems like we just didn't stop. I mean, we announced, of course, last April when Speaker McCarthy came out. And then I've really, Mike, taken advantage of being here in district because, the way they changed the district, I was in Congress, so I didn't have as much time to go and get acquainted and build relationships with people. So I decided, let me take this time while we're here. And so I've obviously spent a lot of time up in the South Valley, up in the Bernalillo County area where, the new district kind of extends to. And it's been very rewarding and really just so much fun. And so I feel good about all the traveling we're doing, but we're certainly meeting lots of new people, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's so cool to hear that part of it. But you're right. Kind of getting back to the raw deal side of the redistricting, it happened right when, really when you're up and going for running for re-election. And then basically they just took your whole district and turned it on you. And and a very small percentage of what was your former district is actually still, in the current district. And so you had a lot of new faces and a lot of people that maybe weren't familiar fully with you in that first election cycle because, you technically weren't representing them before.
Right. I mean, that's a good way to say it for sure because you're right, because you're finishing out the term working on behalf of the original district and then at the same time trying to kind of connect with new people and potential voters, in the new district. And so, I think, though, we've really been able to really establish some great relationships. And I think, in general, I think not just in the district, but I think in New Mexico, I think kind of attitudes are changing a little bit. What I'm kind of hearing a lot more of when we're on the trail is not so much the priority of what party you are, but the priority of, economic security, border security, securing the families, the neighborhoods, and just those kitchen table issues that people are actually talking about regardless of party. And I think that is starting to be kind of the conversation that's resonating around the district for sure, but I'm hearing that from other parts of the state and quite honestly other parts of the country.
Yeah. And that's something too that your district deals with, even it did before the redistrict, but even more so now too with the redistricting. I imagine a lot of people in the district too, border security things, because they're the people on the front lines in a lot of this stuff. So this is stuff that they're probably having more interest in than maybe people up north, if that makes sense.
That's right. I think really they're starting to understand just the cost to the American family on this whole open border situation, the cost of human life in terms of the fentanyl, the human trafficking, drug trafficking, all of that, and then just the uptick in crime everywhere. And people are starting to look at the bigger picture and see, how are we going to house all these people? I mean, when you think about it, Mike, it's close to 8 million people who've gotten into our state illegally, not through the process, but illegally. And you think about that, that's, New Mexico has a population of just over 2 million, and you think 8 million people have now made their way into this nation. And I think I read something recently that said the population of people who've entered the nation illegally is more than the population of 36 states.
Oh, wow.
And it just makes no sense. And so I think there's really grave concern now as to how do we manage this? I mean, I think when we're seeing where schools are being shut down so they can use those facilities for housing illegals or in, hotels and all kinds of things. And suddenly, the reality of what are we doing to this country and who is in our country? And I think that's starting to resonate with people.
Yeah. And you're right. But I would even, we say that I think part of it too is people are starting to let's take the politics out of border security for a minute and just look at the details here and say, okay, sure, regardless of your thoughts on should we let people in, should we not let people in, help people, not help, take all of that out of the side for a second. Just forget all of the emotional side of it and just look from a purely logistical point and say, look, we're human beings. We always want to help people and want the best for all humans. And, I think all of us have that in our heart for the most part of wanting to do good. However, you got to look at it from a logistic standpoint and say, okay, where does that balance go? And all right, like you're talking about, when we're influxing in a very short period of time, the amounts of people coming in, And like you said, some of these numbers are bigger populations than over half the states in the union. That's a huge tax on resources and everything. And forget, whether you want to help or not, can we physically even do that with the resources? And that's to me, that's the big question first before you even get into the emotional side. It's like, yeah, I want to help people, sure, but can we? Can we physically do this? And that's the questions that I feel like we're not really asking. Everyone's just, or starting to ask now instead of, well, we just got to help people no matter what. I'm like, yeah, no matter what is a very broad term. We need to define no matter what. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so
and it has to be realistic, and I think you're absolutely right. No, there isn't anybody I've ever met that doesn't want to help or a hand up, those types of things. But we're putting ourselves into a position where we can't even take care of our own infrastructure, our own, problems at home. And I think that's where it's starting to really resonate. We're seeing the cost of living, right now in New Mexico, every single family is paying about $1,000 a week more than they did 2-3 years ago because of inflation, because of the cost of groceries and food. And I think you kind of couple these additional costs with, now we're seeing this huge uptick in crime. Now we're seeing a lot of, stories where innocent people are being murdered. Mm-hmm. We're seeing, schools that are being, school officials are concerned about the safety of the kids. Mm-hmm. And, all of this just kind of goes together. And you're right. It's time for common sense. Like we've got to make sure that we're securing New Mexico's future, securing, our children's future. And in so doing, we're going to have to look at how things are working and really put good policies into place or back away from just the emotional arguments and be realistic about what this means to New Mexico, but to America and our sovereignty and our safety as a whole. But, Mike, no one's talking about that much, the uptick in young men from China. It's 300% uptick of people who've gotten into this country they know of. And that should be very frightening for us to just, as Americans, to wonder who is here and what are their intentions.
Sure.
And to me, it says something about, I get it. There are a lot of people that want to just get to America to create a better life for themselves, their families.
And we love that part. Right. That part's the good part, yes.
Exactly. But I also think, on the other hand, back on 9/11, it only took 15 people to bring this country to its knees.
Absolutely.
And I think now when we can look at the bigger picture and go, oh, my gosh, so we don't know what's really going on. And I think now Americans, New Mexicans are starting to say, look, we need to have some checks and balances, improve the process naturally. But what's concerning to me is just with the recent court decision for the state of Texas, I feel like we're going to really see that flood of people because we've got so much border down there on the southern part of the state that there is wall in parts of it, and you and I've talked before, but there are areas where there's a quarter of a mile with no fencing or barbed wire fencing or just the Normandy fence. Very, very easy to get through, get over. And I'm concerned about, farmers, ranchers, the communities down and that in our portion of the border that doesn't have the news people sitting there all the time with cameras rolling, doesn't have the drones sitting there, and I feel like it's just continually going to keep pushing more people to the New Mexico border.
Yeah. And I really think the people that, have the issues and things and where the mistake is, like you said, it's the emotional side comes into play. And it's like, oh, well, you don't this, you must not love this or that. And to me, it's a way bigger picture than that. And I look at it as, people love to talk about culture and you got to celebrate your culture and be proud of your culture. And that is true statements. I agree with that stuff. Where you come from, be proud of that and use that as your guide in life. These are all, human good things. However, what we're talking about here is more than that here. It's about, we were trying to preserve American culture. If you want to talk about cultures, we have a culture in America. Yeah, and that culture is different than any other place on the planet. And that culture really is, regardless of where you come from, regardless of where you born with a silver spoon in your mouth, or were you born in a log cabin with no clothes? That's our culture. That wherever you come from, if you are working hard, if you are doing the things to try to better yourself, you will succeed in this country, and you will. It's a guarantee, I think,
right.
if you do that.
That's right.
And what's happening now? It's not that we don't. We want to bring people that are looking for that same thing, looking for to make their way in the world. Unfortunately, what we're getting is that's the beacon, or that's the slide, the opening in the defense, so to speak, where the people that don't want that don't want America to have the values that it does, that really they want to incorporate to what they were from, and that's the problem. It's like, no, we want. Bring us, you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry, the statement that we hear. What we don't want is you bringing Sharia law, your way of government, your way of governing to this country. We want to preserve our way of governing. And people right now are trying to slip culture and skin color and that kind of thing and saying that's what you're against. No, it's the fact that I want my laws and I want the freedoms that I enjoy in this country to stay that way. And by more people coming in, instituting their laws, that goes away slowly. And that's, to me, that's the pick. It's not the people we want. It's the laws and the baggage that comes with it. That's what we're trying to keep out.
I think that's right. I think that's right, because America is the greatest country in the world, and it's unique because of all the different people and traditions and cultures that make it just so incredible. But what we've seen now was just, especially since COVID, we have lack of workforce. Now we have all these people coming in. We have very few taxpayers. We have more people that are not, working in the marketplace. So now we're trying to take care of our own. We're trying to take care of those that are coming in. We're seeing our dollars are going, less and less further than they were. Mm-hmm. We've got to take care of ourselves and be strong within our own communities, our own nation, our own states, so that we can do exactly what you say. And I concern myself with also, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen the documentary. There was a family that they followed from Venezuela who came across, and my heart went out to them because I know that they took these risks and came so that they could make a better place for their family. But, Mike, what I worry about is if we're not careful about being smart, how we take care of our physical health, take care of our, spending, and take care of trying to help all these people, we're going to create a Venezuela of our own in our own country, and there is no one that's going to take the American people. So I think you're right. At some point we have to kind of set the emotional side apart and think about what's good for the country as a whole. And we're seeing now a lot of people coming in, and it becomes very much a clash with what I think our traditional values as a country are. And pretty soon, I think people are feeling frustrated because they're feeling a little bit outnumbered. We're in this country, I can't ever think of a time when we would have seen so many people standing up against Israel, especially the younger people. And I think these are the kind of things New Mexicans, Americans are starting to go, whoa, this is scary stuff. Sure. Our voices are getting drowned out by a lot of people that don't, like you just said, share those same values of our nation. And that, I think, is starting to be very concerning to many people.
Sure. I think it's, and I don't want to sound like old man yelling at young people here, but I think there is a bit of in generations now that have a disconnect on what America stands for in the world. And what I mean by that is we are that beacon. There's a reason why all these people want to come to this country, because if you've ever lived in any other part of the world, even your Englands and Australias and quote unquote, allied nations that walk and talk and act kind of like us. The life is not the same as it is in the United States. And there are things that you cannot do even in England and Australia that are very much you can do in the United States and that are legal. And there's not, and I'm not talking about nefarious stuff, just the freedom of choices that you have in your life that you still can't do in England and even places that are quote unquote more like us. They're not
more
the same.
Kind of more the Western culture or Western principles. But here's what's really interesting, and I think it's worth noting is, Mike, I don't know of any other country in the world where you can basically be invited into their country illegally and then get rewarded for it. And what I mean by that is, the cell phones and the debit cards and the housing. No other country in the world would do that. And I think for me, one thing that's concerning is, look, I'm with you. I'm for a hand up. I'm for making sure we do this correctly. But what I don't agree with is that we have homeless veterans on the streets of America.
Absolutely.
People that fought for this country. We have single parents, even families that are living so below the poverty level. They're living on the streets or in cars or under bridges. We have got, I believe, a responsibility to take care of the American people first.
Yeah.
And that should always be the priority.
Absolutely.
And it feels a little bit like that's kind of slipping. And, we're not doing, I don't see any bills. I don't see any help coming for our veterans. I don't see any help in getting some of our lower income earners off the streets or out of living in their cars or what have you.
Sure.
But yet, if you try to say something like, well, let's slow this down and stop placing the value of the American below people that are, again, breaking the law to get here, I mean, that sends a signal, and I think that's what goes into what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Well, that just kind of, it's open for everybody, and it doesn't matter your beliefs. There's no resilience with our culture and with our beliefs and with what makes us great, and we're really, I think, compromising the greatness of our nation. Can we help folks out? Absolutely. We're a nation built on basically migration. However,
sure,
we've got to take care of the American people first, and I believe it's really a blow to anybody that's saying, hey, I have less money in my checking account and I'm paying more for this, that, and the other, but we're taking care of a lot of folks that are not responsible for any of the tax base or any of the help in terms of aid. It's just, for the people to take care of them. And I think we're putting too much strain on our American families.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's and to be honest, I think we as a country, we're the greatest nation in the world. I'm believe that till the day I die. And we can do both the way I see it. I'm right. Like, there should not be an American that does not know where they're getting their lunch or dinner tonight. You know what I mean? They right. should be able to do that. We've got the resources. That shouldn't even be a problem. And right. and then at the same time, we can still do the other stuff too. But you're right. We got to prioritize America first on this stuff.
Right.
And it's like,
right.
it's no different than, let me give you a very bad example. When I'm president with a bad example, but it is. But it's no different than rudimentarily, like when you get on an airplane and they do the safety spiel and they talk about the air mask dropping down. You know what they always tell you? Put yours on first before you help others doing it. That's America's got to do that a little bit. It's like, hey, we want to help others, but we're not prepared ourselves to take care of it. And I'm like, yes, let's do what we can to help, but first, let's prioritize and take care of our own and make sure they're good, and then we can be in a better situation to help others.
That's right, and that's a great analogy. You know, let's take care of yourself first, ourselves first, our country, our American people, our homeless veterans, those that really do need actually a hand up, those that have still struggled through the COVID. We still have so many people that either closed their business, lost their jobs. I mean, we just are kind of still in that turmoil, and I think this with this open border, the priority should be, securing the greatness of America first, whether it's, securing the border with more technology, with more people, more funding, ensuring that our economy can be bolstered. Because while all this is happening, and you said something earlier, you said, we have the resources. Well, you start thinking about natural resources and not only farming, ranching, oil, gas, the fuels, mining, all of our natural resources are under attack by this government, by the Endangered Species Act, or the lack of permitting, or the land grabs. And I mean, so I'm looking at this going, not only are we opening the doors, if you will, and letting, all these millions of people into the nation to appreciate and to live off of the greatest country in the world and our natural assets and resources, But then at the same time, we're kind of, hitting everybody in the gut. It's a gut punch for those that rely on these natural resources for jobs, for utility, for lower cost of energy. I mean, I just don't see how we can sustain this for very long. And there's no parity because it's a very unbalanced playing field. We're giving handouts and rewarding people that are breaking the law. And I think we see that even in our criminal codes. We're seeing there are not a lot of consequences for criminals that are breaking the law. Look how many stores have closed over the last year because they just can't keep up with the theft. Finally they started saying up to $1,000 you can steal, and before they'll prosecute. What kind of example is that? What kind of country is that?
Sure.
And that's what scares me. We're now starting to change the greatness of the country by compromising our beliefs, our values.
Absolutely.
We're a country of law and order, and we've kind of lost that on every aspect, every angle. So I think
under the guise of humanity, weirdly enough.
Exactly. And it's time to just get our country back. It's time to prioritize, like you said, the Americans first, and American ingenuity and American assets and American energy and all these things that make us great. And again, like you said, put our mask on first, then we can help our fellow passengers. And we've got to start being serious about that. And I believe that's why these elections this year are going to be so critical for not only the state, but for the country.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every American should be asking themselves, and every single person you're voting for on the primary ballots coming up here in the general election and later this year, every single candidate that you're voting for, you got to ask the question. It's like you look at the policies and things that are going on right now, and you ask yourself, does this person continue to do the policies and things that we're doing now, seeing clearly that it's not working, or are they trying something different and coming from a different angle? And to me, this election is going to be a lot of that. I mean, it's like, is status quo good for you right now? If it is, then maybe we find someone else, because clearly this is not the status quo that we want. So
that's right.
And so that's the big picture you got to ask yourself here. And again, the most powerful tool you as an American has is that vote. And don't let any person on this planet tell you that you're wasting your vote when you're voting for people that you believe are the right people for those jobs. And we got so much agendized stuff and people telling you got to vote this way for the team and all this. You vote for the people that you believe are the right people to do the jobs. And if you do that and do your research, then you're doing good. That's it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And you're right to get out the vote. It's in the midterms in 2020 or 2022 when we lost the election by only 1,300 votes. Even in this new district, I mean, a testament to, number one, we were really delivering for New Mexico. But number two, we saw a lot of voter turnout a little bit weak in some of the counties around the state, which was unfortunate because I'm very proud of what, we've made huge inroads. For instance, in Downtown County, which is a very blue county, we went from 39% in 2020 to 44.5% in 22. Because, we saw that people were starting to vote exactly what you talked about. The person they knew could do the job, most aligned with their values, who is, maybe had a proven track record. And so, I think we've gotten the party politics has gotten in the way of good relationships and good policies.
Absolutely.
And that's why I love what you said. It's time we kind of move away from that and let's just get to know the people and where they stand and what their true values are and how we can improve this country.
Yeah, and I blame our parties for I think voter turnout is a direct result of the way both political parties have attacked each other. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And doing this thing because they're literally telling you, oh, you're wasting your vote here and all and that resonates when you do that enough times, and I think it discourages people. I think there's more Americans today than 20 years ago that believe their vote doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And that's a scary, scary thing to have. And because when that happens, if people lose the confidence in voting, then we don't have a democry anymore. It's a free-for-all.
Exactly right. And you're right in the messaging, with this. Like people think, my vote won't count. It doesn't matter. Yes, it will. And that's exactly, I think, what the far, far left wants you to think to keep you from getting to the polls. So it's working for them, when they can, talk about things that, it doesn't count, these machines, whatever. A lot of that's stemming from the other side, and it is resonating. And you're right. Then people just believe, okay, my vote doesn't count. Well, yeah, it does. Your vote doesn't count if you don't vote, but it's certainly, 13. I think we could have found 1,300 more people in the 2nd Congressional District that could have voted and just didn't, whether they thought, red wave, I don't need to vote, or, the machines, it doesn't count. It does count. And that's why, this next number of months, as we gear up for that 2024 November election, we've got to be talking to our friends and neighbors and coworkers. And it doesn't matter the party. It matters the policy, and it matters really what this country looks like in another 4 years or 5 years or 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm hoping people are starting to wisen up here and seeing, because but this is the point. And as New Mexicans, you need to, more so in this state than ever, you've got to go vote, because this state, I'm sure other states deal with this as much as we do, but we really do. We should have, like on election night when they're doing the numbers and we're seeing this, and they talk after the end, and it's like only this percentage of the population actually voted for this election. And I'm like, that number should be 90, 95, 98%. It should not be like they talk about 70s and like, that's great. I'm like, no, that's horrible.
That's not great. Yeah. It should be. I mean, like you said, this is such a privilege for us to be able to vote.
Yeah.
And I always remind people, you may not like the candidates. You may not even like politics. You may just not think it's great. But I always tell people, vote for your family, for your kids and your grandkids, or your neighbors' kids and grandkids. But at the very least, go and cast that vote for those Gold Star families who understand the cost of freedom.
Absolutely.
For those veterans who served in all these wars so that we could get to the ballot box and cast a vote. I mean, we owe it to the men and women who have fought for our country's freedom to at least, this is what they fought for.
Absolutely.
And if we can at least respect that and cast our vote based on the fact that men and women died for us to have these freedoms, and a lot of countries around the world don't get this privilege. I mean, at least that should motivate people to get to the polls. It's fascinating to me, but hopefully they'll recognize, and I think people are starting to see, we're in grave danger of losing things that really matter to us in terms of, just our cultures, our beliefs, our value system, how this country looks, how our communities look over the next, number of years. And so I'm hoping that'll really energize people to say, enough already. I'm getting to the polls, and I'm going to take some friends with me.
Yeah. Too bad we can't do a thing where we make every American, like when they hit 15 or something, have to go spend a year in another country and live there and experience it, and then come back and then let's see what you think of our country.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Right. Good thought.
Real quick, obviously, if folks want to support you and want more information, are you going to be making any appearances anywhere around here anytime soon or anything, or just point them to the website and steer them there?
Yeah, and I'll be headed over to the east side. I think we're headed over there in April.
Okay.
I'll be speaking at a Federated Women's meeting in Chavez County in Roswell.
Okay.
The middle of April, and I think that week we've got some things we're scheduling over, in Artesia and Carlsbad and Hobson, just kind of taking some time. So I'll make sure to keep you posted if I know when we get some stuff set up, and then we can kind of talk about it some more.
Well, when you go to the Chavez County Federated Republican Women's meeting next month, folks that go to that one, make sure you come hungry, because they usually serve pretty good meals when they they do their monthly thing. So don't forget.
That's exactly right.
So come for a bet, stay for the pot roast or whatever they're going to be doing at the dinner, at the lunch there.
You bet. Exactly. And so I know we're going to be spending some time over there. And we were up in the South Valley and up in Albuquerque and Valencia and Socorro counties last week and last weekend, and then actually leave tomorrow. We're going to spend a handful of days over in Doñana County and Sunland Park, and it's just such a huge district. And but I'm so grateful and blessed that I'm in a place where I can actually take off and go and meet people, because I just think there's so much at stake right now that the more people I can visit with and understand what they're going through, their struggles, how we can help, how Congress can do better, how how we can change things for the American people and the people of New Mexico, the better. So I'm spending lots of time on the road, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Best bet is go to her website. It's YvetteHerald.com. Pretty easy to find.
Yep.
And there you can, if you want to get more involved in the campaign, there's opportunities there. If you want to learn all about Yvette's positions and values and what she stands for, you'll find all of that there too. And of course, if you want to get in contact with her or have any questions, that's a great way to do that as well too. So
you bet.
Good deal.
You bet. So,
well, do we get it all, or is anything we missed?
No.
Okay. Well, perfect. Well,
I
good
think
deal.
it's good. It's been a great visit. It's been way too long. We got to do it a little more often.
Yeah. Well, maybe next month when you're in town for the Republican Chaves County Federal Republican Women's Meeting, maybe we pop in around that time and visit for a little bit.
Sounds good. We'll make it happen.
All right. Well, thank you, Yvette. Stay healthy, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Mike. Have a great
The New Mexico Department of Transportation, in cooperation with Cutler Repaving, is resuming roadway, mill, and fill rehab on New Mexico 176 near Eunice. The project actually already started this past Thursday and won't be completed until the end of April, weather permitting. New Mexico 176 is now reduced to one lane, both directions during the day, so you will encounter a pilot car with flagging operations throughout the duration of the work. The Hotel Artesia is undergoing a brand change after being bought by Henry Bacta of Prominence Hospitality. The Daily Press is reporting that Five Star Hospitality will manage the property, transforming it into a Spark by Hilton. The developer is working with an architect and an engineer for the renovation project that's scheduled to begin in May. The new hotel is expected to be open again by the end of the year. Bacta also owns the La Quinta Inn at 2207 West Main Street. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We do have a slight chance of a shower till about noon today following a cold front that's on its way through our area. Pretty gusty wind at 30 to 50 miles an hour. Afternoon high today in the upper 50s to low 60s. Overnight, cloudy and windy, our low dipping into the mid-30s. Still breezy on Tuesday, but not as windy. Low 60s on the afternoon high, sunny on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. The Goddard Rockets baseball team recovered pretty well from an opening round loss in the Artesia baseball tournament back on Thursday. That was to Carlsbad. Carlsbad, by the way, ended up winning the tournament, but Goddard bounced back by knocking off Moriarty 12-9 on Friday. Cinco Holloway, a home run, and 3 RBIs for the Rockets. And then Saturday, Goddard walloped Deming 11-1. Ryan Alsop, the winning pitcher, had 9 strikeouts and had a complete game. So next up for Goddard, they'll be at the Rio Rancho tournament Thursday against host Rio Rancho. That starts at 5:30. And up next for Roswell baseball will be a doubleheader against Anthony Gadsden. That's tomorrow afternoon, starts at 4 o'clock. Roswell is 5-3. Their last outing was a split with Alamogordo last Tuesday. This sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell opened a Fed Listens event on how Americans are experiencing the economy, saying the pandemic had lasting effects. He did not make any remarks about the outlook for interest rates, which the central bank held steady in the 5.25% to 5.5% range at its meeting last week. Chrysler parent Stellantis said it will lay off about 400 U.S. workers as it works to cut costs, boost efficiency, and ramp up electric vehicle production plans. Major airline chiefs plan to hold discussions with Boeing board chair Larry Kellner in meetings that will not include the CEO, David Calhoun. This after raising concerns over an Alaska Airlines mid-air emergency and ongoing production issues. Target is doubling the bonuses for its salaried employees this year. The company will pay 100% of employees' eligible 2023 bonuses, up from 50% last year. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The University of New Mexico offers affordable, top-tier education year after year. The New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship and free application for student aid may provide funding to pay for school. Apply to UNM and learn more about the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship at admissions.unm.edu.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. In fact, They're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2660.
Fergalicious. Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And we're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News coming up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Do not go away. Happy Monday, everybody.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Appearing in rather rough shape, the suspects in the deadly attack on a Moscow area concert venue have appeared in a Russian court. The BBC's Charles Haviland following developments in Moscow.
Russian media have named all 4 suspects, publishing video of them in the courtroom. One, either unconscious or barely conscious, was brought in a wheelchair and even given medical attention in court. All appear to have been beaten. Videos of brutal interrogation sessions were apparently leaked by security forces, and reports suggest one has lost an ear and at least one has been electrocuted. The Afghan cell of the Islamic State group says it was responsible for Friday's gun attack, killing almost 140 people.
Meanwhile, the Russia-Ukraine war rages on, with Russia stepping up its attacks on Kiev.
Russia's hit the Ukrainian capital for the 3rd time in 5 days, part of an apparent escalation of aerial bombardment of cities by the Kremlin's forces. City authorities say a residential building was damaged in one district of the city, while debris from interceptions fell on various other districts during the daylight attack. The assault comes 3 days after a concert hall attack in Russia that killed more than 130 people. Russian President Vladimir Putin has sought to tie the attack to Ukraine, even though an affiliate of the Islamic State group has claimed responsibility. I'm Charles Philadelphia.
This is deadline day for former President Trump. Barring a last-minute reprieve, he must pay a $464 million bond or risk having his assets seized by New York Attorney General Letitia James. However, such a seizure can be a long, arduous process, that according to New York real estate attorneys. Watching Wall Street, stocks have been in the red so far this morning. Right now, the Dow down 82 points. The Nasdaq is off 49, the S&P down 11 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The British government launching a new global social media campaign aimed at discouraging migrants from trying to cross the English Channel in small, rickety boats.
People smugglers are risking lives, human lives, just to gain money.
Using dramatic pictures of overloaded dinghies sinking in the Channel, the adverts feature testimony from Border Force officers and people who have made the crossing. One migrant says, "I regret risking my life on a small boat." Another talks of seeing passengers disappear into the sea. The campaign will initially be rolled out in Vietnam because an increasing number of small boat arrivals are Vietnamese. The Home Office claims its recent social media campaign in Albania helped contribute to a fall of 90% in arrivals from there.
And that's the BBC's Simon Jones. Nissan announcing plans to expand its electric vehicle lineup, developing more powerful batteries, cutting the cost of production. Company's chief executive describes the plan as the ARC pathway to greater sales by 2030. Townhall.com. Thailand has delivered its first shipment of humanitarian aid to war-torn Myanmar.
10 trucks crossed the border from the northern province of Tak in what officials hope will be a continuing effort to ease the plight of millions of people displaced by fighting. Myanmar is racked by a nationwide armed conflict that began after the army ousted the elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi in February 2021. About 2.8 million people in Myanmar are displaced, according to UN agencies, most by fighting that arose after the army's takeover. Rhonda Rockstra reporting.
Heavy rain and quarter-sized hail fell in Southern California the other day as the National Weather Service predicted lightning and wind gusting around 60 miles per hour in the mountainous areas. The California storm is moving south from the Sierra Nevada, where areas around Lake Tahoe got up about another foot of fresh snow, and Mammoth Mountain reported up to 18 inches by yesterday morning. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm, I'm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The abolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. Los Dos. Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Monday.
Yes.
Welcome to it.
Indeed.
Hope your Monday is going well. Easter week. Easter holiday. Kids back to school this week.
He is risen.
Yeah.
Happy post-Palm Sunday to you and to yours.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll be Sunday.
Yeah, that's post-Palm Sunday. That was yesterday.
Yes.
Which did you ever do that as a kid? Did you ever celebrate the Palm Sunday service at church?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is like every Sunday school class does this, but we took palm fronds and folded them and made crosses out of them. That was like the big, like every single year at Palm Sunday, that was always the big project.
I know we did stuff with the palms. I can't remember if we did the crosses but I remember palms were involved with the Palm Sunday.
It's like, I appreciate it. I understand it's like the perfect apropos Bible story lesson.
Yeah.
Let's get creative with Palm Sunday. Come on. We've been making palm crosses for eons now. And by the way, do you really think that if we're going to make stuff out of palms, that the cross is the thing that Jesus wants to see when he comes back? It's an old Bill Hicks joke, I admit. But it really does feel wrong. You know, it's like we're really just we're putting that on display, aren't we?
And adopted as the symbol, so I think you just go with it. But
look, Jesus, I made a cross. Ah!
I don't want
that. Get that thing away from me.
It kind of triggered something.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be sacrilegious. I just... What's the old joke? I don't think Jackie O would want to see you hang with a little AK-47 on your neck. Hey, thinking about John. It's not quite the salacious hour yet, is it?
Well, happy Monday.
It's just what Monday brings out of me, man.
It does feel like if we're full in spring, but now it feels more winter than winter did.
We've had less sun since it's been spring than we did in the wintertime. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But it's going to be a wild week.
Dude, yesterday was the worst.
Yeah, yesterday was. I mean, you were hearing the reports. They were closing down 285 and all of that stuff.
Total brownout on most of the streets or roads out of Roswell.
I was hearing reports of some accidents around town. I see it on social media there and.
My house rocked. Like I literally thought we were gonna fall over at one point.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm kind of, because of that woods and the area I'm in. I mean, yeah, it gets windy, but I think some of that we get blocked by some.
Yeah, you are kind of closed off, and you have that wall that like goes in the front of your house, so that sort of blocks a lot of the
so it's
riffraff
not
from
too
the
bad
street.
Right around the immediate vicinity of my house, but But yeah, as you get out of the neighborhood there, it gets pretty rough, and things are blowing.
Man, and that's the thing. It's as Ron White once said, it's not that the wind is blowing, it's what the wind is blowing. And boy, howdy, were there a lot of overturned trash cans. And I love when tumbleweeds cross the street in families.
Yeah,
that's always fun.
I would imagine there's a lot of re-exchanging of trash cans today and all that.
This is yours. No, that one's ours,
I believe that belongs to you. That's why you put your address on your trash cans, kids. So you can return them.
So yes, after the windstorm, you can get them returned.
Or in my
it's
situation,
the same reason you put your name on your underpants.
Yeah. Or in my situation, although it's not been a problem in a year or so, but because the way in my neighborhood, I have to take my trash can, like I just can't wheel it to the end of my driveway, so to speak, because the trash truck doesn't go down there.
Yeah, you have to take it a ways, huh?
Yeah, I gotta drag it about 100 yards or so to a spot where the trash truck comes and gets it. And so I used to have a problem because I have an HOA and other people have to. And so I drag my trash can down there and I do it either the night before or dark 30 the next morning. And then.
Usually in a panic, you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like everybody else in life. Yeah, absolutely. You hear the trash truck coming, you're trying to run to get the trash to the guy. Yeah, same thing. And, but then I'd pick up the empty can at the end of the day or when I get home from work or what have you. But for about first couple of years I lived in the place where I live, there was a 50-50 chance my trash can was gone. And it was most of the time it was the HOA taking it up with their trash cans, and they were using them because they had a series of trash cans too for lawn and all that, the tree branches and grass clippings and all that. And so my trash can would get sucked up in the bevy of their trash can. So they're pretty much on trash days when I get home from work, I'd have to do the hunt, walk around, go find the garden guys to go, hey, you grab my trash can again. I got to go. Or sometimes I'd see it myself.
It makes sense, too. If you think those things, once they're emptied, are basically just plastic parachutes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to catch the wind and go wherever.
And this time it's just them, commandeering it. And then sometimes I'd find it and it's full of grass. I'm like, I was like, see, there's a big 11 right here. It says 11. That's me. That's not you. You're HOA. See, that's you.
HOA. That's you.
11. That's me. But I haven't had that problem in a year or so. But it was for a while there. They kept taking my trash can. I think there was other things going on.
I have a different problem. We have regular like dumpsters set up on our property, but my set of dumpsters is like a football field away from me. So what I do, let's have a bag of trash. I'll put it outside my car. I'll get in my car. I'll back a little bit up, stick my arm out the window, grab the bag, and then drive to the trash can. Like, why don't you put it in the back? I don't want garbage juice in my car.
Just a bag hanging out the window.
Yeah, there's just me with an arm out.
Feels like Ace Ventura.
It does a little bit, yeah.
Our old house, they had the alley trash dumpsters, and they were those plastic round ones.
Yeah.
That once again, whenever it got windy, they'd all conglomerate at the end of the alley because especially they're empty. Obviously, they tip over and roll down the street, and they'd all be down at the end there. And I remember getting in a dumpster moving battle with one of my neighbors because they kept wanting the dumpster by their thing, and that's not where it goes. It's been right by mine the entire time. You are moving the product, but they wanted.
I didn't ask for it's science.
Yeah, but this is where it goes. Is the designated spot? He's got the worn spot in the dirt and everything right here. See, there's where it goes. But they kept moving them because they didn't want to open their gate to put trash. So because they were trash people. But anyway,
I'm guessing not still your neighbors.
No, they're not. These people. No, we had wars with them. These are people. Cops were called. These people are just ghetto trash.
And this is like full, inside baseball. But your neighborhood is very close. Like you're close. Like together.
Now. Yeah, this is my old.
I don't mean
house.
like relationship. I mean like vicinity.
Physically, yeah.
Proximity wise, you're very close to. Now
this is the old neighborhood where I lived down on the south end, and so I lived in that full separate house at that time. But those neighbors were the ones that I always fought with.
I vaguely remember that.
They were trash, straight trash.
I vaguely remember that.
Oh, we had all kinds of incidents with them.
That I was out. I believe I was out in your backyard, and you were telling me you were having issues with them, throwing stuff over the fence or balls or stuff getting over the fence.
Yeah, they're just, and they had 80 dogs, and the weeds were to the roof. I mean, it was like I had a 2-story house, and you could. I could go up to the second floor of my house and look out the window and see down in their backyard.
Right.
And oh my goodness, it was straight up trash. It was just gross. Anyway.
Hopefully you got your cans back after yesterday.
Point was, my can. We had the alley war with them, and so I was like, you don't even go get rid of garbage. You just keep collecting it. It's in your
Who
house.
do you even need the dumpster for? Just
what do you
put
need
it
it for? You just
put it in the backyard like you did everything else.
Put it there with all the other.
Set it by the
garbage
Body by Jake Firmflex that you ordered.
That was in the
years
front
ago.
yard fence,
Oh,
by
gotcha,
the way. That wasn't in the back. They had no room for because of the junk in the back. That was lined up in the weight bench in the front yard, buried in weeds. Yeah, that was there.
Best coat hanger my family ever had.
I wish I was lying, but it was right there, along with the charcoal grill knocked on its side, that the green rust one. That's you know the one I'm talking about.
I know.
Disc shaped, yes.
Okay. I have to hesitate at grill turned over in the yard. I've tried 1,000 times to pick this stupid grill up. Every time I do, we have a windstorm and it's in my yard. Okay. Yeah. So I just leave it there now.
I'm just like, I've seen everyone in this house. None of you have ever been to a gym. Why do you have so much broken gym equipment?
Hey, we have hope. We have hope in this family. That's what we have.
They don't even know someone named Jim.
We don't have perseverance, stick-to-itiveness, but doggone it, we've got hope.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're not around anymore.
Oh.
When one had, never mind. I'm going to go on my head because I have more to say, but I'm going to get
easy now.
Yeah. We have pastors in the building. I need to behave.
Yeah.
Let me give you the rundown.
I guess I forgot the guest this hour when I brought up the first topic of this conversation.
He'll beat you with palms.
Hey, it'd be something new. It'd be creative. I'd be down. I'm fine.
He's a bit of a masochist. But anyway, that's another story. But kind of his kick. But let me give you the rundown for today's show.
Some people are into collecting cars. I like paint. What?
Hey, you do you. That's the official term of this year. You do you. Stay out of my way. But yes, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather and all of that here in just a bit. Then from Church on the Move, we'll have Pastor Troy and I believe Pastor Sean joining us. And, of course, we'll talk about Easter services, but also they're showing free screenings this week of the movie The Passion of the Christ, the Mel Gibson produced movie that is one of the most powerful movies ever of showing the Jesus' sacrifice and why we celebrate Easter. So we'll talk about that with the pastors here in just a bit. Later on, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Chaves County sports update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, let's take a look at that weather. Got a little bit of everything this week, all in 4 days.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We do have a slight chance of a shower till about noon today following a cold front that's on its way through our area. Pretty gusty wind at 30 to 50 miles an hour. Afternoon high today in the upper 50s to low 60s. Overnight, cloudy and windy, our low dipping into the mid-30s. Still breezy on Tuesday, but not as windy. Low 60s on the afternoon high, sunny on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 46 degrees and mostly cloudy here in Roswell. Humidity is at 42% with southwest winds at 6 miles per hour. We do have a 20% chance of some rain showers here. Mine says afternoon. I know Steve was mentioning mostly before noon, but I've got rain chances for the afternoon. Partly cloudy, 57 for a high today with north winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. 20% chance of rain tonight. That goes on till about 9 p.m. Mostly cloudy, then gradually clearing as the night progresses as well. Expect an overnight low of 34 degrees with northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunny for your Tuesday. Expect highs in the low 60s tomorrow, 62. Winds out of the north early 5 to 10. Shifting to the west 15 to 20 for tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, there is a 20% chance at some rain showers before midnight. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 38 degrees. Winds out of the west 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny, 68 for a high. Winds will be breezy out of the northwest, 10 to 15 early, 20 to 25 for later in the day. Thursday, we're looking at sunny skies, 76 for a high, so warming up there. Friday, Good Friday, partly cloudy, 84 for a high. Saturday, 84 and mostly sunny again. And for Easter Sunday, mostly sunny, 84 and breezy. So cooler for the first half of the week, warming up for the second half. All right, it is closing in on 8:20. We're going to take about a 2.5-minute break, and then we'll talk with the pastors from Church on the Move. That's up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
It's Kubota Orange Days, your golden opportunity to score a deal that'll make your neighbors green with envy. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And get the year's best deals, like 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off L3302 tractors.
Visit Amigo Machinery, located at 2801 Southeast Main Street, Roswell. Sign up today for the 2-day Reload Camp with Coach Tom George, Saturday and Sunday, April 13th and 14th in Artesia, New Mexico.
The goal of Reload is to take our camp to locations that don't always have a lot of opportunities.
The 2-day Reload Camp is for all ages, all positions, and features college, NFL, and local coaches.
They do it because they want to impact young people. I'm not saying every professional and college coach is like that, but the ones that come to my camp are, because I don't have it any other way.
Saturday and Sunday, April 13th and 14th in Artesia, New Mexico. Sign up today at QBimpact.com.
Roswell Honda is doubling down on doubling up. Yup, double your tax refund and march into savings at Roswell Honda. $1,000 get you $2,000, $1,500 get you $3,000, and $2,000? Well, that means $4,000 towards your next vehicle. And with a lot full of amazing vehicles, you can double up and save big. Get a 2015 Hyundai Santa Fe, just $289 a month. A 2016 Jeep Cherokee, just $249 a month. Or a 2019 Nissan Versa, just $199 a month. Double up days roll on at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Are you or a loved one having a hard time getting to your medical appointments? At Artesia General Hospital, we believe that transportation should never be a barrier to good health. That's why we're excited to announce our new non-emergency medical transportation services. Each of our vans is wheelchair accessible, and our friendly certified drivers go the extra mile by meeting you at your doorstep and ensuring a comfortable ride to your Artesia General Hospital services. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Schedule your ride today by visiting artesiageneral.com/transportation or calling 575-736-8211.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else, or the frost might kill them. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits for the astronauts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Church on the Move, Pastor Troy Smotherman, Pastor Sean Kelly back with us. Good morning, guys.
Morning, Mike.
Happy Easter week to you.
Happy Easter week to you, too.
A busy week, as always is, for folks at Church on the Move. You know, even when there's not a holiday, around it, there's always 20 things going on at Church on the Move. So.
The name fits.
Yeah.
Church on the Move, the name fits. It does fit.
Always doing something here. So, but of course, Easter is this week, Easter Sunday coming up, and we'd love if you don't have a church home and looking for a church home, of course, Church on the Move would love to welcome you in and come see what they're all about and come see the facilities, the services, the people, and see what why a lot of people call Church on the Move their home here. So you're more than welcome to come there. But also, between now and Easter, you guys are going to be showing a free screening of the movie The Passion of the Christ, which I think every Christian on the planet should at least be on their radar.
Watch it at least once.
Yeah, and I'm one of those folks that I think every Christian should see it once. I've seen it once. It's such a powerful movie. I'm like, I'm good. I've seen it the one time because it's not an easy movie.
It's gut-wrenching,
yeah. If you were not an emotional mess by the end of that movie, you have no emotions.
I tell them bring popcorn and Kleenex.
Yeah, but you guys will be offering screenings of that, several screenings for a couple days there. It'll be on March 29th and 30th. You're going to have show times at noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. Man, just like the movie theater.
They arranged it. The movie theater arranged those times.
Should be, can we have a church on the move dial-a-phone, like movie phone? Remember, like back in the day, you call,
right?
You know, because that's how we found out movie times.
Yeah,
you call the number.
It was great.
And it was the recording, you know, showing at Church on the Move. At church is passionate. Show times are noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m.
You did a great ad for that, man.
I called it a lot.
You should maybe speak for a living or something.
That's right.
Maybe you ought to
go
be
into something where you can do that.
Yeah, have a job in radio.
Weird like that. But yeah, people, you talk a lot. Well, geez, wonder where I ended up. I think I ended up where I was supposed to be. But yeah, Church on the Move. I'd love to come and bring the family for a showing of, you know, like I said, one of these show times or multiple if you want to, you know, come see it multiple times here. But just come, and it's free, doesn't cost anything. Just love to have you come and see why we celebrate this season of you know, Good Friday and Easter, and why it is the most. It's the reason why we're all Christians. Is this
the
week.
resurrection?
And Friday and Saturday that will be happening at Galaxy 8 theaters.
Yes, it'll be at the movie theater.
Yeah, it'll be at Galaxy 8.
And you do need a ticket.
You do need a ticket.
It is free.
It's free.
Yes,
ticket's free.
But and because there's only a certain number of seats in there.
Exactly.
They're really comfortable though. If you haven't been in since they put in the new seats and everything a couple years ago. I'm not gonna lie. If it's a slow movie, fortunately this one's not.
I paid for a lot of $15. How much it costs to go to the movies? Naps.
Right, exactly.
I've got some pretty good naps. My kids have woken me up like, Dad, you're snoring. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Hey, you put me in a recliner in the dark. This is what's gonna happen.
Give me a water and some popcorn, and after I'm done with that,
I gotta have double fist soda, nachos, or popcorn. You got to keep something going.
Nah, you're talking.
But and you know, quite frankly, the Galaxy 8's better equipped to handle the nachos and the popcorn and the candy and all the stuff, and you know, and they got a screen that can handle, you know, the people. So it does make sense that we're over at Galaxy 8. But now, do they get tickets through you guys, or can they get it directly at Galaxy 8?
Get the tickets from us.
Okay.
You can get a hold of our church at 575-622-7011.
Okay.
And you can call, but there will be somebody there even during lunch times.
Okay.
This
we'll
week.
make sure that that phones will be answered. Someone will, so we can get you.
We're open from 8 to 5. Yeah,
make arrangements to pick up tickets for any of the showings. It's first come, first serve. So, like I said, and seats are limited for each showing. So you
have to designate an hour. You know, you get a free ticket, but you need to designate.
You need to tell which time
and ask us what times are available. You know, now because we've already given out over half.
I was about to say you've probably given out quite a few. So if you do have a more stringent time frame and when you can watch this, you might want to get there this
right
now
today.
as opposed to the 27th, 28th, or something
and your seat will be assigned like at the movie, so you'll already know what your seat is.
You'll be just
when you pick your tickets up.
So no one will be sitting in your seat. When
they
you get
shouldn't
there.
be.
Yeah,
we'll have people there.
That's
you know,
right. We'll
to
move
make
them
sure.
over one, and
yeah, we'll have assigned seats. It's just like how the theater does it. And you'll have a ticket, and we just don't want to disappoint people. And everybody, you know, 1,000 people show up, and we can only give out 600, or whatever seats.
You know, another cool thing about this is maybe you've seen the movie, but you watched it on video or DVD or whatever, and it is. It's a movie that is worthy of watching it in a theater experience with the surround, all the bells and whistles that come with a modern theater experience. It is. I mean, because it's Mel Gibson put some money in the investing of this. You know, it's high dollar production value for its time when it was been about 15, 20 years since that movie's come out, hasn't it?
It's been a long time.
So we were talking in our creative meeting, and that's kind of how it kicked off. Pastor asked us a question.
Yeah.
And the question he asked was, has everybody seen this movie?
Yeah.
Or have we lost a generation?
And we had lost one.
I was about to say,
there were several of young people in their 20s that had not seen this film.
Sure.
So that's how long ago it was.
And it's such a powerful movie that, let's face it, it's not one you want to go back time and time again. You know what I mean? It's like certain movies you let.
It's not a date night movie.
Yeah, it's a powerful message. You're sitting down to see yes, movies are entertainment, but I don't know if this falls in that form of entertainment. I mean, yes, it does
to some
but
degree,
it's
but
way
no,
more
it's more of a
than that.
message,
It's
and
way
it's,
more than that.
it's
Yeah.
incredible. Like you said, Mel Gibson spared no expense. Jim Caviezel did an incredible job. Everybody did an incredible job.
It's
on
such
this
a
film.
powerful movie because it even the fact that it's all in Aramaic and quite frankly you're reading the whole time because
which I do anyway now.
About to say, well, let's just face it, most of us can't speak fluent Aramaic, and so there's a lot of reading and all that. So, but it's so powerful that it draws you in, and it's just it's
so
like
well
you watch
shot.
action movies or whatever, and all the explosions and all that. And I mean, it has this because you're seeing the crucifixion of Jesus. It's a brutal movie.
It's intense, and I showed it to my. Go ahead, Mike. Finish your thought.
But just what I'm saying is, it's got all of the Hollywood that people come to, but it really because of what it's portraying, and we all know this is talking about why we're Christians, and this is what I mean. And I think we all, as children, at least I remember going through plays and doing the Easter and Christmas plays and doing the things, and obviously as kids it's very vanillified for because of the mentality of the people we're dealing with here. You don't want to give them the full picture of what they did to Jesus here, and the Passion is really the one piece of art or whatever thing that's out there that I don't think there's anything that compares to it to give you a sense of what Jesus went through, what he sacrificed. I mean, we talk about it, we read about it, but to see it in that movie form, it hits different, if that makes sense.
It's probably the closest thing to reality.
Exactly.
Even though the Bible says that he was unrecognizable as a man hanging on the cross, that if you saw him from a distance, you wouldn't know it was a human being.
If you saw the movie, it was kind of hard to recognize.
It was. And so, and so that's why we recommend, and we're not allowing anybody not under 12.
Sure.
I tried to show this to my daughter when she was 10.
A little too intense.
And man, when it came to the part about the crucifixion, I mean, just as the beginning when he said, "Father, my heart is ready," and they started to whip him with the cat of nine tails, man, she began to weep so hard. I had to escort her back to her bedroom. She had to lay in her bed and kind of catch her breath.
Yeah.
So I stopped. I didn't show her and she hadn't seen it since. And so now she's 14. So my wife's going to take her to it. So Christian, non-Christian, it doesn't matter. If you want to get an idea of the historical account on Good Friday, it just happens to be on the Christian calendar. On
Absolutely.
Good Friday, we chose that because that's the day he was that we kind of recognize he was crucified.
To have the resurrection, we have to go through Good Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's the avenue, that's the tunnel we have to go through to get to the resurrection on Sunday. And so anyway, 12 and over, if you're a Christian, bring people who don't know Jesus, bring people who have not seen this film, maybe bring people on the fence.
And if you've never seen the
bring
movie,
people who haven't seen
as
it.
Christians, like you said, absolutely, it's a lot to take in. But when you see the movie and everything, if you're not, I don't know if the word's proud, but if you're not more cemented in your Christian faith, then maybe watch it again, because I think it's a brutal movie and it's going to send you through the emotional ringer here. But at the end, you're like, and this is why I'm a Christian. And this, you know what I mean? It's like,
and it's really a love story.
It's
a love story. It's how much God loves us, how much Jesus loved us, and so even though it depicts some of those scenes of the crucifixion and the torture, but man, it's a love story.
So much more
at the end of the day,
and that's what gets you is that, golly,
they take you to such
love
a
me
dark
this
place,
much,
but at the end to bring you back through it. You know what I mean? It's like it's like real life. To celebrate the joys and the resurrection experience and how powerful that truly is, we had to go through hell to get there. And that's what Jesus did.
Well, I'd never thought about it till we were having this conversation, but really this movie for me was an experience.
Yeah.
It felt like an experience.
For the first time, you feel
it
like
marked me. Yeah.
Like I felt like I'm in Jesus' shoes right now a little bit. Like for the first time, I get a sense of that. You know what I mean? And it's just what the magic of movies can do sometimes, and where it's a platform that a book can't hit you with. And you could, I mean, the Bible's the most powerful book out there, but it does not evoke the same images or feelings that 3-hour movie does. You know, it just doesn't.
Well, and you learn, I've preached this many times or shared this many times that, the Romans were experts in torture.
Mm-hmm.
They were experts. And this movie shows just how expert they are. And the price of our sin, of all the evil human beings have done to each other and to ourselves, it just shows that how much God loves us and how the price he was willing to pay. That's why it's so emotional, because to me, it wasn't the brutality. It was that he took that,
despite that,
and I did. That's what I deserved.
Yeah.
And it's the agape love. It's that love that is sacrificial, and it just, that's what moved me. The torture. Yeah, I'm watching that and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, he did that because of me.
Sure.
And that's what I deserve. That's what we all deserved. And he took it for us. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's such a great love story.
Sure.
It wrecked me in a good way, man. Like, golly, God, you love us so much.
You appreciate the sacrifice so much more when you see it in that form.
Exactly.
We can talk about it, describe it, tell the stories. It does not translate the same way sometimes. It doesn't sink in that same way. And that's the beauty of that movie. Is despite the brutality that is in that movie, it brings us to a better place. And that's how many movies do that? No.
Right.
That's
not
like this.
Not like this.
Not like this. I've been to a lot of movies. I remember the first time John Wayne died in Cowboys. I was in a movie theater in Iran, the capital city of Tehran, on the military base there. Watched the movie The Cowboys, and we were all just sitting there like, John Wayne died, and we were all crying.
Right.
The whole theater was crying, and I was a 4th, 5th grader, and I'm crying.
It so, Joe.
I'm like, John Wayne died, and if anybody remembers that, that's how I think we all felt in that generation, because he never died in a film before. He always won, And so this is not even close.
Yeah.
To that, the love that's expressed, the sacrificial love that's expressed, in this. It's just amazing. This younger generation, I really believe, needs to understand that it was sacrifice that our veterans like you, thanks, Mike, and my father, and Pastor Sean's dad, and so many of our children, there's always a sacrifice that has to be made for freedom.
Absolutely.
And this was the sacrifice for freedom from sin, slavery, that we're no longer a slave to it. We don't have to be a slave to sin anymore. We might sin, but we're not a slave to it.
Sure.
And then it's the open door to heaven. I mean, you want to go to heaven? This was the price that had to be paid for us.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing to me, and that's what got me. It's just, I was so grateful. I've always been grateful because I was so lost that to know Jesus, and he changed my life. But this made me even more grateful.
It cements it.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, okay.
It does also make me wonder: is what if Jesus didn't come? What world would what would the world be like now? I mean, I know it's a very philosophical, but I'm trying to think, like, if we didn't have this happen in our history, if Jesus didn't come and die for our sins and resurrect, if that didn't happen, what would the world look like today?
Well,
and
we got a glimpse of that with Noah and the flood.
Yeah.
Of what God had to do because evil and sin and men's decisions, you get a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
And without Jesus, that's exactly where we would be headed again.
And he came.
If we weren't already there.
You have to, most people don't understand, he came at that time because the whole world was dark.
Mm-hmm.
The Jews weren't even worshiping him. They were lost. They were religious.
Sure.
They were lost. They hadn't had a prophet speak in 400 years.
He was needed at that time.
The nations like the Roman Empire were slaughtering people and dominating the world, and the whole world was dark. China, regardless of the continent, North, South America, the Orient, Africa, India, all the continents, they were all worshiping demons. They were all worshiping false gods. They were all human sacrificing. They were all, the whole world was completely dark.
Mm-hmm.
And darkness ruled the world. And that's why Jesus came. He was the light that came into the world to say, hang on a second.
Sure.
This is not the direction mankind
and
is
it's hard
going.
to fathom what you're talking about because we live in a world with Jesus.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because
most of us,
and
not all of us, though, Mike.
But you know what I mean?
He's still, I got
we
you.
do.
There's still
even
a hope.
if you don't believe it, he's
There's still a hope.
looking out for you.
Yeah, he is.
He is, absolutely.
He's reaching out to you, too.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? And that's and I guess that's where I kind of, like I hear what you're saying, but because we've never experienced it,
that,
it really it feels like a fantasy to me because we live in a world where that's not going to happen.
Well, but in parts of Africa and around the world, and even parts of America now, it's getting so dark in some areas that, I mean, they're trying to extinguish the light. They always have. Satan's always tried to do that, and people have unfortunately cooperated with that. But you can't put the light out now. It's once Jesus came, the light is shining, and so there's this hope. And I hope that when people come see the movie, especially this younger generation, they'll appreciate sacrifice and what it takes to really have a meaningful life.
Yes, the message.
Sacrifice, and how much God loves them, and they'll live with a value and appreciation of that, because Jesus said, "If you love me, obey me."
Sure.
And so that they'll begin to really start to walk in the commands and principles of God that will bless their life.
You practice what you preach. It kind of rubs off on you a little bit.
It does.
It's that, and like you said too, I think it also gives hope. It's full of hope. Because you're seeing what Jesus went through, and we're not asking you to do that. We're asking you to do just a tenth of that. Just believe.
Live for him.
Yeah.
Don't have to die for him.
And
live
so
for him.
Your world that seems overwhelmed sometimes, now that you see that, it's like, you know what? In the big scope of things, it ain't that big a deal here. And look what Jesus did for me.
Sure.
I can get through my math test next week, or I can get through whatever obstacle I'm dealing with in my life right now. So
that's one of the things Pastor's going to talk about on Sunday. So we have
good
this
transition.
happening.
Sean's going to keep you transitioned here.
So we have this happening Friday and Saturday at 12, 3, 6, and 9 at Galaxy 8. But then Sunday at our church at 9, 10:45, and 12:30, Pastor is finishing a series that he's in called The Way, the Truth, and the Life.
Okay.
And he's going to talk about the life being Jesus. So we get the next step after what happens on Friday and Saturday.
You get to talk about the victory part.
That's exactly right.
Passion of the Christ shows the
fun
war.
part, yeah.
Now we get to talk about the celebration.
And it's going to be a great service, and Pastor's going to give us a unique look at heaven during that service, and we've got some other special things planned, and so we'd love for people to come and join us at service on Sunday, on Easter Sunday as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So when you're done watching the movie on Friday or whenever there, then you come on down and
go sleep your sugar coma off from the movies.
Yeah. Exactly. Get your Philly Cadbury eggs and Reese's eggs, and then get on down to the church here and burn off some of that sugar and have a great time of celebrating Jesus.
Yeah. If you don't have a church, we'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
If you have a church, please be at your church
Absolutely.
and celebrate with your church family.
That's what this Sunday is about: celebrating God and celebrating the blessings that we all have, and that's. So, but we'd love to have you come to the church and come see what the church is about. If you're looking for a church home or new to the area or whatever, come check out Church on the Move and see about all the different things we talk about, which kind of transitions to our next thing. I know you guys have been busy and want to give an update on some of the things you got going on over through the church family here. So probably should do that. But before we do that, reminding everybody, again, Easter services at 9 a.m., 10:45, and 12:30, Church on the Move. 901 West Brasher, if you're not familiar, the south end of town. If you know where the post office annex there on Brasher, if you're coming off of South Main there, just go a couple blocks past that. You'll see you'll see the main church on the right. You'll see their youth and all that stuff on the left there, but you'll see the whole property right there. So
you know our property.
That's right. And but we invite you there. But kind of give an update on some of the other things you guys have been working on
one of the
right
things
now.
we wanted to address was the Dream Center. It's called Dream Center, New Mexico. It's the old Leisure Inn, and there's been a lot of speculation as to what's happening there. So I just want everybody to know that we do have 1,000 communist Cubans that are escaping communism. And that's a joke.
And we're making room for a few more next week.
Yeah, we're going to take 1,000 Chinese people that have escaping communism. And I don't want to make a joke about that. I want them to escape communism, but that's not what's happening over there.
It is
that's
not a
one of the
refuge
things
for
that we've heard.
whatever they think it is. Yeah.
And so what is happening over there? Go ahead.
God made an amazing mind, and it can take you places if you let it.
Yes, that's right.
And
that's
certainly there's been some scuttlebutt about rumors flying. So let's correct some things and let's give people the straight scoop on what's going on.
Yeah, what it is it's the first part of it we have phases that we're working at. There's like 84,000, is that right? 84,000.
87,000 square feet.
87,000 square feet, and it needed a lot of renovation. It was a gift given to us. We did not pay for that facility. I don't know if he'd want me to mention his name or not. I probably won't. But
well, people that knew they used to own it, they could put two and two together.
Yeah, and so, but he was so generous and so kind, and just gave us the facility because he wanted something good to come out of it.
And you guys do,
So,
you have the means and facilities to turn that into something that benefits the community. So that's probably why he thought of you guys.
he did. Actually, I contacted him, and he vetted me. Probably the best vetting process I've ever been through.
So you had to pass his gauntlet test first.
And he asked every question you can think of because he wanted someone that had the finances, the manpower, the vision,
making sure you're legit.
Yes, exactly.
Churchill Move does have a good track record in history, but he's like, I want to see more.
and he knew a little. He didn't know a lot.
I got you.
He even came and saw our facilities at our church to see what we built.
So he really put you through the paces.
Oh yeah,
he did. Gotcha. Good.
Yeah,
deal.
he did the best job of anybody I've ever had vet somebody to do that, and he just gave us the building along with a ton of other stuff. He was so generous, unbelievably kind to us. But the facility had been in disrepair. They had taken the copper out of it. They'd stole thousands and thousands of dollars.
Does happen in this area.
Yeah, it's taken us a couple $100,000 just to replace all the plumbing, all the copper that was stolen, all the damage that's been done. But we're spending a lot of money on getting that facility ready. And the first part of that facility is transitional living for people coming out of prison.
Yeah.
We have a prison ministry in our church led by Brother Richard that goes out to all the prisons just about in New Mexico and ministers. And we have people in like a 1 year and 2 year block inside the prison that are coming out. And so they'll be coming to our facility along with others.
So these are the folks that come there have kind of already been.
We vetted them.
You put the hand of God on them while they were locked up.
Yes.
And now they're transitioning out of that lifestyle into being productive humans in society.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're doing. You hit it right on the head. We vetted them. We're just not letting anybody come to our city because it's drug-free, alcohol-free, tobacco-free.
They're going through their test right now too.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've had several write letters to me, and we're hoping to have it open by the time some of them are released. But that's the first phase. But we're also going to have veterans rooms.
Okay.
We're going to begin to house veterans.
So it'll be kind of a triage for multiple people dealing with issues and trying to get back on their feet kind of thing.
We'll have some emergency housing, not homeless shelter, but someone's house burnt down. They need a place to stay for a few days. A single mom can't pay her bills.
Kind of like a Ronald McDonald or that style housing.
Yeah, kind of thing.
They get, for scenarios like that, if your kid's got cancer or something like that, and the family needs a place to stay, Ronald McDonald, you're doing something similar for people dealing with various issues like that.
And we have so many rooms that we're going to parse them out. So we have veterans rooms. We're going to have single moms, but everybody that stays there, with the exception of the people there for the emergency housing, has to be on some form of program.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you got to be working towards something, education, job.
You're doing
paying
something
your bills,
to get to the next level in your
money.
life.
Yeah, and so there's no one's just coming and just living there and flopping and thinking they're going to stay.
So this facility, at the end of the day, is really a foundation builder. It is. It's there to create and to help reestablish or create a foundation for people trying to make it and get on with their lives.
Just need a hand up.
Yeah, and trying to make their own path in this world.
Exactly.
And as Christians, every one of you that are Christians, that's what's in God's heart and put in our heart, is you always give people that's the whole point of this week. We got the second chance.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Really good segue right there.
And so this is not only talking, but living, breathing, eating, sleeping what God would do. And so and again, I know what you talk about the rumors because there's the NIMBY factor, the not in my backyard factor, where people, we need more prisons, we need more rehab, not my backyard, but we need more of those, kind of things. And the facility is where the facility is, and it was an opportunity that fell into your lap, and you're saying, all right, how can we take this property that's, let's just face it, is seen better days, and let's turn it into something that's good for the community again. And that's exactly what you're doing. Thanks. This man gave you guys the runaround to make sure that you would go through with this.
Yes.
And now you're making good on your promise here.
And it will be guarded 24 hours a day. I mean, it's just not going to be some place that we're going to be great neighbors to all of our neighbors.
The idea is not to detract from the neighborhood, it's to add to the neighborhood.
It is. And we've already built a fencing and security, and there's cameras, and I mean, it's going to be run professionally. It's going to be done right. But if the heart of it is to help them live, serve Jesus, and live outside, because it's a generational thing to me. When I go and minister at prisons, like 80% of the men and women have children, in the recidivity rate for a child to go to prison, and the recidivity rate of those in prison is like 80%.
It's scary.
And
the numbers, yeah.
And then the children follow and go to prison too, and so we're trying to change
break
generations.
those cycles a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is about generational change.
Yeah.
And
well,
we
and
believe that through God we can pull that off.
Well, and that's part of, and I know it's getting a little sidetracked here, but the family unit, that's why it's so important.
It is.
And because that is the tool which humans get the next generation ready for what they've got to face. And because of, let's face it, the family unit is no longer the same thing it was when we were kids or when our parents were kids. You know what I mean? It's a different animal. Not saying all of it's for the worst or for the better, but it's way different. And because of that, we've lost some of the ways that we get the next generation. It's different but the same. You look at like the world we live in as far as fixing things. I mean, we all grew up and we're mom and dad were, fix it, get it. We don't replace, we do. And because of that mindset, that was, it gives you problem solving skills, the ability to think on your feet and be able to, because we don't live in that world. I think we have an impact now where, now you have a problem. It's like, I need to throw money at it, get a new one, whatever it is. And you're like, no, I need to get my hands dirty and address this problem, fix it. And I think we've lost some of that in our raising of these generations. And I think, all this we're talking about gets us back to that place, if that makes sense a little bit here. And I think that's just big picture type thing we're dealing with.
It is.
Society and how we do things. And technology's changed the way we access and do things, and that plays a role in it too. But that's just a cog in many wheels, in my opinion, on that.
And we might not be able to fix the whole world, the whole nation, but we can fix somebody's world.
Right.
We can help somebody.
That's right.
And we know with God, all things are possible. So,
one building at a time, one person at a time. One person at a time.
One starfish, the old starfish story, one starfish at a time. And so just going to say
that's what we're
help
going
the
on
ones
with
we can,
Well, that's what's going on with the old leisure in
that's
here.
What's going on with the old leisure.
Dream Center, New Mexico.
We're not storing
Dream Center, New Mexico.
illegal immigrant or whatever stories have been going on out, Romans and Run out there. It's going to be a transitional facility for people that have found God while incarcerated.
And we're not taking sex offenders. We're not taking anything like that. So we're not going to introduce that into our community. That just won't happen.
Sure.
We vet, even the veterans that will come in, they have to be willing to cooperate. They have to be willing to be productive. And so will the single moms.
Some of their mental
all
health
of them will be
issues
separated too.
in check.
The women and men will be separated, and we have a full kitchen, full facility that we're rebuilding and restructuring and redoing. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of finances and a lot of
I would
labor.
imagine too, when the time comes, they're going to need more people to serve and volunteer and work in this thing.
Yeah.
So if people are looking to serve, get in hold with them now. Come on down. Come out to his church on Sunday and talk and say, I'd love to serve there when you need more people. And I am sure we will find a place for you to serve.
Do we have another workday schedule?
Not yet.
Did one Saturday.
We don't have one on the books yet.
Just did one Saturday, but we'll put another one and we'll put that out. And
if
we
you have a
welcome
service
people as long as they come with the right heart to actually serve. And man, we welcome anybody to come and help us because we're cleaning. There's a lot of work.
It takes a lot of hands make less work. That's just that's just the truth of it is. And so if you'd like to go and be a part and serve and even serve in a greater capacity once the facilities, quote unquote, doing its day-to-day business, so to speak, they always need that too. So please reach out and come volunteer. And you might find God might put some good things in your world when you start serving other people too.
It definitely changes.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely. So come out and see come call or come by Church on the Move here the next day or two to get your free tickets for showings of The Passion of the Christ. It'll be at the Galaxy 8 Theater. Show times will be March 29th and 30th, which is that Thursday and Friday?
Friday and Saturday.
Good
Friday and the following Saturday before
there.
Easter, yeah.
And show times will be at 12 noon, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. And tickets are free, but you got to get tickets, and you got to get them in advance.
Church.
Reach out to Church on the Move. Come by or call. Shoot a message on Facebook. Hey, how do I get them tickets? And then someone will reach out to you and get and set some aside for you. And if you have a window on there, we're about halfway already giving away tickets. So some of the show times may be full already. So you don't wait till Thursday, Friday. Get it done now.
But you know what? We have whole groups coming. Businesses are buying, not buying, but coming and getting tickets and taking their staff. And so it's really cool. So come on out and do that. I also want to say this too before we get off of here, Mike, that we do take donations for Dream Center. It's about $5,000 a room to renovate those rooms.
So it is a little pricey.
It's pricey. Yeah, it's even though a lot of them, 34 of them were renovated, it's still taken in plumbing, electrical, and all the other stuff we have to do, the fundamentals to get those rooms ready.
You got to get it to a place that it is ready to handle the needs of it.
Exactly.
And I would imagine you might even have to upgrade plumbing to more commercial things.
We had to bring it up to code. And we had to bring electrical up to code. And so it's built in 1963.
The stuff that wasn't stolen or removed was probably out of current code and up to date.
That's why they didn't take it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure it had a lot of gremlins in there to work on. But please reach out, get involved. And then, of course, come on out for Easter services this Sunday at Church on the Move, 9 a.m., 10:45 a.m., or 12:30. Come on to any one or all three and come meet the Church on the Move family and come see how they celebrate God there at Church on the Move. There, 901 West Brasher Road here in Roswell. So, do we get everything?
You nailed it, Mike.
Mike,
you did. You got it.
You're
as
the best
always.
As always, thank you for coming in and joining us. Thank you for what you guys do for our community. You guys definitely make Roswell a better place, and that's a good thing too. And
you do too.
We some days are better than others, but come on out, see a great movie. Come get inspired by what the Passion of the Christ. There's a reason, come feel the Passion of the Christ in the Passion of the Christ. And then come join us for Easter services and come see what Church on the Move can do with you and for your family. Good deal. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Mike.
I'm sure you got a few fires to stomp out and
we do,
and issues to deal with right now. It is Easter week and about 20 moving parts you got to get going. So got to hit the ground running. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, 8:56. Let's pause for some Lou Dobbs and a quick commercial break before news. Don't go away.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Wall Street back to winning another round of retail reports. Fed's preferred inflation update this week, and investors looking to build on recent gains. Wall Street cruising to its best week of the year, despite Friday's losses. NVIDIA's big week helping boost the broader market. Apple still lagging. The mega cap tech stocks suffering another weekly loss. And retail earnings season rolls on. GameStop reporting after tomorrow's close. The stock under pressure lately, down more than 20% this year. The holiday quarter always critical for GameStop. Wall Street targeting revenue at a little more than $2 billion annually. We'll have the Fed's preferred inflation gauge this week, up 0.3% month over month in January. Annually, the index rose 2.4%, the lowest pace of inflation in 2 years. And the February PCE report comes Friday. Stellantis laying off hundreds of U.S. workers, the car maker citing unprecedented uncertainty. The move comes months after 2 rounds of proposed buyouts. Roughly 6,400 employees were offered buyouts to boost efficiency and ramp up EV production. Please join me twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
Companies in the United States are 10 times more likely to be a victim of a cyber attack. Manufacturing, healthcare, retail, financial services, the leading targets. Arison's Cyber Z Suite provides the protection you need before your data gets stolen, bank accounts get drained, and operations are at a standstill. Call Arison today to schedule a no-obligation consultation. That's 908-878-7717. Aricent, ERACENT.com. 908-878-7717.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with a new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices. So come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Roswell Honda is doubling down on doubling up. Yup, double your tax refund and march into savings at Roswell Honda. $1,000 get you $2,000, $1,500 get you $3,000, and $2,000? Well, that means $4,000 towards your next vehicle. And with a lot full of amazing vehicles, you can double up and save big. Get a 2015 Hyundai Santa Fe, just $289 a month. A 2016 Jeep Cherokee, just $249 a month. Or a 2019 Nissan Versa, just $199 a month. Double up days roll on at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
The University of New Mexico. It's the state's flagship, a world-class university right here in Albuquerque. Apply for admission at UNM today at unm.edu. That's unm.edu. The University of New Mexico is the university for opportunity.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more
than $450 million bond in his civil fraud case, or risk having his assets seized by New York Attorney General Letitia James. On Friday, Mr. Trump announced he did have the bond money. A business deal involving Truth Social will bring him billions. The New York civil fraud case, part of what the former president describes as a political vendetta against him, designed to damage his White House campaign. Mr. Trump says it's another example of election interference. President Biden continues urging Congress to pass emergency funding for Ukraine and Israel, as well as a so-called border security bill.
In a weekend statement, the president said the House must pass the bipartisan national security supplemental to advance America's national security interests. The emergency funding for Ukraine and Israel has been bogged down in Congress for weeks. Mr. Biden also called on lawmakers to pass the bipartisan border security agreement, but that deal collapsed last month when Republican senators ended months of negotiations with Democrats. And now Congress is on a 2-week recess. Greg Clugston, the White House.
As President Biden campaigns for re-election at a furious pace, his 2024 rival Donald Trump has been forced to deal with the numerous legal challenges thrown at him by his political foes. Mr. Trump has held just a single campaign event since locking up the Republican presidential nomination 13 days ago. Biden, meanwhile, has been barnstorming the country. Bruised and battered, 4 suspects in the Moscow area terror attack have appeared in a Russian courtroom. ISIS claims responsibility for the assault that killed almost 140 people. Ukraine denies Vladimir Putin's claim that it had a hand in the deadly attack. Watching Wall Street, the Dow down 116 points. The Nasdaq is off 16. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
The Irish government under new management.
Ireland is poised to get its youngest ever premier, as 37-year-old Simon Harris has become the elected leader of the Fine Gael party. Harris will replace Leo Varadkar, who announced his surprise resignation last week. Harris, who's been the coalition government's further and higher education minister, was the only candidate to put his name forward to succeed Varadkar. Varadkar himself had been Ireland's previous youngest prime minister. In his victory speech, Harris said this was a moment for Fine Gael to reconnect with the people. Karen Chamas, London.
The southern African nation of Malawi has declared a state of disaster over drought in 23 of its 28 districts. The president says it needs more than $200 million in humanitarian aid. Malawi is the latest country in the region to have its food supply crippled by a prolonged and severe dry spell. News and analysis, townhall.com. Israel's out with a statement concerning its recent raid on a Gaza hospital used as a base of operations by Hamas.
Israeli military says it's killed more than 170 militants and detained about 480 suspects in the raid on Shifa Hospital that began a week ago, calling it a blow to Hamas and other armed groups it says had regrouped there as the war nears the 6-month mark. Karim Ayman Hafat, who lived in a 5-story building near the hospital, says he huddled in the kitchen for days while explosions sometimes caused the building to shake. I'm Charles Dillatesma.
A magnitude 6.9 earthquake has hit a remote part of western Papua New Guinea, killing at least 3 people, causing extensive damage to roughly 1,000 homes in the area. The region already dealing with widespread flooding. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
Feel the hot wind on my shoulder, and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm, I'm breathing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelers and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to our number 3 Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope your Monday is going just well. Hope everything is doing fine and dandy as you come and get about your day. Some of you coming off spring break, trying to get back into the grind. Hopefully it's going well for you. Others, another Monday. But it's the Easter week. Got Good Friday here, so short week for hope you got the chance to check out some Golden Gloves boxing over the weekend. I believe you can go back and watch it if you missed some of it. But they had a great, exciting weekend of Golden Gloves boxing at Roswell High. Don't forget this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is the Sertoma Club. Their New Mexico Military Institute Colt Classic Baseball Tournament. That's going to be happening here at the Nimmie Ball Fields, right downtown here. And the Colts will play their first game Thursday, I believe at 7 p.m. Roswell High JV, Artesia High JV, a lot of the other local schools will have teams in the Colt Baseball Classic. But Sertoma Club's 30th anniversary.
Wow,
of,
30
doing
years.
The Colt Classic there. So, but that is this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Tickets are available at the door. You can get tickets for per game or for the whole tournament there if you want to. And come out and enjoy some high school baseball. 3 days of it.
That's how you do it, though. Get the tickets for the whole weekend, and you just Your carte blanche for the whole time.
Yeah.
Get yourself some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Spend your Good Friday or Thursday and Saturday watching a little ball game.
Yeah.
Peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Not too shabby. Make your wife wonder if you're ever going to come back.
root for the home team. If you don't win, it's a shame.
Damn shame.
But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So
It will.
Another thing to add to the list of all the stuff going on around town. Yeah. This week.
Yes, indeed. It's the busy season.
It
Feels
is.
Like with baseball going on, with boxing happening.
And weirdly enough, good TV and programming is like, it's like, why can't we? It's like when the weather's awful and there's nothing to do, there's like hardly nothing on there to watch.
It's because everybody's having
But
vacations
now
and stuff.
people going out doing things, and I'm looking like, oh, there's like 3 movies on Prime right now I need to watch or want to watch that just popped up all of a sudden, and so I'm like, man, this is because like I said, there was like 2 or 3 movies that popped up on Prime. I was flipping through, and I was like, oh man, and I watched one of them over the weekend. But like I got on there, and the new Roadhouse movie's there.
Roadhouse,
which I will see eventually.
Well, okay, so this is the thing about Roadhouse, about the reboot of Roadhouse. Every time anybody's talked to me about it, every time, it's gone exactly the same way. Did you hear the new Roadhouse movie's out? Jake Gyllenhaal is jacked.
Yeah.
Like, that's the exact 2 sentences I hear in a row every time.
Well, and we've known this for a while. Like they've been kind of showing us behind the scenes of this Roadhouse movie on social media ad nauseum for the last like 2 years, it seems like.
Right.
And every one of these videos I've seen him in, he's jacked.
Right. But like, you don't really get the full like breadth of it until like this movie came out. You're like, Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah.
And honestly though, we really can't be that surprised anymore when some schlub in Hollywood becomes like, superhero movie ready.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it to Kumail Nanjiani for the Eternals. They did it to Chris Pratt for the Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, sure, you can get yoked when you have a whole team of trainers and nutritionists and thousands upon thousands of dollars to throw at it.
It's true.
It's just not attainable for you and me.
Well, and I don't. And the one thing I'm worried about the Roadhouse is I think they've changed the story. He's an MMA fighter, and I just hope. I get it. It's not Dalton. It's not Patrick Swayze. It's not that story. I get it. I just hope they don't go too far from that story. Like, to me, that's what made that story fun, was this guy, city boy, come into small town, regulating and all that. That's just as part of the story, too.
If you're going to reboot a franchise, one would hope you're going to stay relatively true to the franchise.
Yeah. Yeah, at least stay with the spirit in which it was given in the first time, and I hope they do that.
Yes.
I don't know. I've got a feeling it's not going to capture it.
I'll check it out for sure, but it's reboots run the risk of constantly being compared. Even if it's the best movie ever, it's going to be compared to the original. It's just going to.
But that, and then that Ricky Stenicki is a funny movie.
I'm
it is not appropriate for young kids.
Right.
It is adult humor.
Well,
but John Cena, I've always found him funny. After this one, I'm like, this dude's a better comedian than he is a wrestler.
Right. No, he is. He absolutely. His comedic timing is on point. He's great. But what's great about movies like this, like Ricky Stenicki, some of the ones that come out on streamers, is the lengths that they go to promote this movie.
Yeah.
Like, there were reports coming out a few months ago. I want to say like right around the first of the year.
Yeah.
That people stumbled on John Cena's OnlyFans account.
Oh, okay.
And they were like,
was it Rod? Whatever.
They were like, he has an OnlyFans. So people were like dug into it, and it was Ricky Stenicki.
Yeah.
It was his OnlyFans account, but John Cena had the account technically.
Yeah.
So people went in thinking they were going to see John Cena news, and they just ended up
and
seeing.
If you're not, the premise of the movie is it's a group of friends when they were kids. They basically did, like, when they tried to get out of doing something or whatever, they had a made-up friend called Ricky Stenicki that was the one, we can't go because of Ricky Stenicki. And so he was like their fall guy for everything. And they carried it into their adult lives. And like, whenever the boys wanted a weekend out, they'd come up with a Ricky Stenicki. Like, he's had cancer. He lives in he spends all his time overseas doing world peace stuff because that's what happens when you have a fictitious person.
Right.
And so one of them's getting married and all that, and it gets to the point where I'm like, all right, where's this Ricky Stenicki? And so they have to hire an actor to be in it. And, of course, they stumble upon Ricky Stenicki in their trip to Atlantic City that they were trying to get out of going to a baby shower. And so, and then the comedy ensues. And so basically this guy, John Cena, who's Rod, who has this obscure weird show in Atlantic City, who's a struggling actor, becomes Ricky Stenicki, and he goes over the top with it.
If there's ever any doubt about his comedic ability, just watch Peacemaker. That is, I mean, that is top notch.
But this, to me, solidifies it.
I agree.
It just says, okay, that's not a fluke. This man, I'm telling you, I'm like, I want to see John Cena in more TV and movie shows.
I heard a fun fact over the weekend. So, after Dwayne Johnson, after The Rock, left Fast 8 to make Hobbs and Shaw, he never went back and made any more Fast movies. The superstar that basically took his spot and kind of like moved forward with him was John Cena. Cut to the disaster that was the DC Extended Universe and Black Adam. So The Rock's production company, $7 Productions, is the one who actually produced Black Adam. And their idea was they were going to completely revamp the DC Universe, bring back Henry Cavill as their Superman.
Okay.
Even though he had already been retired.
Right.
This movie tanked so hard, it basically destroyed the next phase of the DC Extended Universe.
Wow.
To the point where when they brought Tim Gunn in, the guy who replaced, The Rock for to move forward on all these movies, the only actor that they decided to keep moving forward was John Cena. He replaced The Rock in both of his tentpole franchises. That's fantastic.
Well, it's because he meets the same thing, but he's way better.
Yeah.
And I think The Rock, where he's charismatic and liked most part, he does not make fun of himself anywhere near as well as John Cena does.
You do need a modicum of self-deprecation.
Yeah. And John Cena has that down to an art form, where you can still think he's cool, but at the same time, he does dumb things that you're like, I don't know. It's just he just pulls it off way better than The Rock does.
He's also
than Dwayne Johnson.
I mean, it's also hysterical that he's fluent in Mandarin. Did you ever see the apology video he did? That's just so great. I mean,
that's what it is. He's probably uber smart, and it's just But anyway, Ricky Stenicki, not for the kids, but if you want to laugh, it's a funny.
I'm definitely gonna check that out
laughing.
this week for sure.
It's good. Amy McVeigh-Tejas will join us here from the Historical Society. She's here. We got a couple things we want to cover here, and of course, talk a little bit about Roswell Seed. Jim Gill, we lost him, and of course they had a lovely service for him on Friday.
It was beautiful, yeah.
For folks at I think most of the town, it was a packed house at Grace Community Church. I don't think there was too many empty seats there, and
that was kind of a neat pull back of the curtain because it was. I never knew Jim Gill to be a Jimmy Buffett fan, but then as I've sort of like think about it and look at he fits the bill of a Parrot Head, and they had Cheeseburgers in Paradise playing on the speaker.
I feel like didn't they have a couple Buffett going?
They did, yeah. They had
in the lexicon of the music that was playing there?
I don't know what the name of the song is, but the Volcano song, when the volcano blows, that played. That actually played, which well done. That played while the family was coming in. That was another Jimmy Buffett song as the family sort of was making their way in.
But they did an amazing service there. Rick and everyone at Grace and the family. It was a lovely service.
Yes.
Well done. I think everyone in that room laughed and cried and did the whole gamut of emotions in there. Sean put together the spot medley that
radio
they had,
retrospective.
his radio medley in there, and that sounded amazing.
Which we're gonna have a miniature version of starting to run, I think, this week for Roswell Seed.
Okay, that I think was definitely one of the highlights of the service on Friday there, and I'm sure somebody whoever has to work the digital signs and stuff that they're using might cut a little bit of crap at the end of that one.
So
and to be honest, that added another layer of sweet, funny
levity.
irony later, afterwards.
Yeah.
Because, so pull back the curtain. I know it was a lovely ceremony, but for folks that don't know, Jim Gill's an Aggie, and there's New Mexico State Aggie representation was strong at the service. A lot of fellow Aggies and things that are there at the service.
Yes.
And of course, they talk about his love for the Aggies and his time with the Aggies. Well, at the end of the service, the family left to everyone singing the Aggies fight song.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they put the words of the Aggies fight song up on the screen there for everyone to watch.
Right.
But there was a slight faux pas. Well, I'd say slight. It's not slight.
If you're an Aggie fan, it's a pretty big one.
So they had the words to the Aggies fight song, but instead of the New Mexico State Aggie logo, they had the UNM Lobo, wolf on there. And it was just the wolf. It didn't say UNM, but it just said. And so someone mistakenly.
But it also had the color scheme, too.
Yeah, it was also the Lobo colors.
Yeah.
It was not the Aggie colors.
Exactly.
And so everyone, I don't know how many caught it. I caught it.
You just kind of heard as like the family was leaving. Yeah. There's like a rumbling. It's like, that's not the Lobo.
But the part that added a sweet level, I'm not going to say sweet, another level of irony to all of that was the moment I got out of the service and I found out that the Lobos lost their NCAA tournament game.
Nice.
Right shortly, because they were playing like right around that time as the ceremony and the service was going on. And then I got out and then I got on my Twitter and was like, oh, Lobos are done. And I was like, well, that's a bit of irony.
How many brackets do you think got broken that day?
Not many. But it was a lot here, but not probably outside.
Yeah, I know.
But it just seemed ironic, if that's the term there.
But it was a great service. Big thanks to Shirley and the family.
It was a lovely service,
absolutely.
and it was well done, and I think because I think it encompassed what Jim Gill was. Very, very helpful, very just there all the time, but also a lighthearted guy, a guy that was always wanting to laugh, and I think that ceremony encompassed him that way. So, but anyway, we do have Amy here. We're going to talk a little bit about that and some other things going on with the Historical Society as well. But first, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We do have a slight chance of a shower till about noon today following a cold front that's on its way through our area. Pretty gusty wind at 30 to 50 miles an hour. Afternoon high today in the upper 50s to low 60s. Overnight, cloudy and windy, our low dipping into the mid-30s. Still breezy on Tuesday, but not as windy. Low 60s on the afternoon high, sunny on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 50 degrees and mostly cloudy here in Roswell. Humidity is at 35%, winds out of the west at 10 miles per hour. We do have a chance of rain, a 20% chance of rain. I know Steve was mentioning before noon. I got the afternoon is what mine's saying. So it's probably not going to rain, but there's a chance all day. High of 57 today under partly cloudy skies, north winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. 20% chance of rain for tonight till about 9 p.m. Mostly cloudy, then gradually clearing as the overnight progresses. Expect an overnight low of 34 degrees with northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, sunny and 62 for a high, north winds 5 to 10. Early out of the west 15 to 20 for tomorrow afternoon. 20% chance of showers tomorrow night, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 38 degrees. Wednesday, sunny and 68. Breezy winds out of the northwest, 10 to 15 early, 20 to 25 for Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, sunny and warmer, 76 for a high on Thursday. For Good Friday, partly cloudy and 84 for a high. So, 50s today, but we'll be in the 80s by the end of the week here. And then at your Easter weekend on Saturday, mostly sunny and 84 once again. Easter Sunday, breezy, but mostly sunny with a high of 84 as well. All right, it is 9:22. We're going to take a quick 2.5-minute break, and then Amy McVeigh-Teus with the Historical Society will join us on the other side. Don't go away.
It's Kubota Orange Days, your golden opportunity to score a deal that'll make your neighbors green with envy. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And get the year's best deals, like 0% APR for 84 months and up to $2,500 off BX23S tractors.
Visit Amigo Machinery, located at 2801 Southeast Main Street, Roswell.
Artesia General Hospital's family practice providers support the healthcare needs of every member in your family, no matter their age. With locations in Artesia and Carlsbad, our compassionate experts offer a full range of primary services and can help manage chronic conditions, treat illness and injury, and coordinate specialty care. Whether you need a medical provider for your entire family or are getting on track with your annual checkup, we're here for you. Reach out today at artesiageneral.com/family.
Get your tickets now as Red Zone presents A Night with C.J. Stroud, Saturday, April 13th at the Bulldog Pit in Artesia. Previously announced as A Night with Jason Witten, Jason became unavailable, so C.J. Stroud stepped up to take his place. C.J. is the 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Houston Texans and two-time Heisman Trophy finalist. Admission is free, but you must have a ticket to enter. Jason Witten printed tickets are still good, and remaining tickets are available at the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. This invitation is courtesy of H.F. Sinclair. Excited about C.J. Stroud coming to Artesia.
Attention high school students and parents of high school students. Do you want to visit Eastern New Mexico University from the comfort of your own home? Then plan on attending the ENMU Virtual Open House on Saturday, April 20th, starting at 10 a.m. You can get a virtual tour of campus, talk virtually with current students, and win great prizes. Sign up today at enmu.edu/open house. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop invites you to move on in and check out the fantastic selection of threads, fabrics, and patterns. Take advantage of a huge sale on Brother sewing machines. If you just want to tune up on your own machine, bring it on over for in-house maintenance. And with free lessons at the Calico Cow, you can learn from some of the absolute best. Let's keep the tradition and art of sewing going. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell, right behind Farley's. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock. Hey, look at that. I just saw me for the first time here. Amy McVeigh-Tejas is here with us in studio. She's not in front of a microphone right at the moment. She's prepping as we get ready for my little thing here. But for folks, and so to kind of peel back the curtain here while she's getting us ready. Last week, and I think I've mentioned it multiple times here on the morning show. Since I had become bald, shaved my head, but I was balding before that. And I always used to have the running joke because I had the bald spot back there before I went completely bald that, hey, I will sell this piece of real estate for advertising if the price is right. And so we were joking about it and it kind of just turned into a funny little, it was funny. However, the gauntlet was dropped. And what are we losing? It's all right. And so the gauntlet was dropped that someone said they would donate money if I utilize my real estate space back here, also known as Dome de Chrome. So we're going to do that. But so to honor it tomorrow, throughout the show tomorrow, all day, for the 3-hour show tomorrow, I'm going to wear the logo of the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. And a person who does not want to be named has agreed to donate $1,000 to the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. Maybe hey, what if I wear it like what if I wear this like this? And then, see what I'm saying? Kind of like that. Oh, that looks bad. I feel like Abe Lincoln with the beard's not lined up right. All right. Yeah, yeah. So all day tomorrow, I'm going to wear on Le Dome de Miguel. Yeah. Yeah, we have Gorilla Tape and we got Scotch tape. Yeah, we're trying to find good tape to stick to human. Maybe I would just have to go directly to Dome.
That's true. Well, for right now.
All right. All right. Well. So do we need to turn it around or do we? Like, how do we? Oh, shoot. Well, I think it'll show up on the back of the other camera shot.
Can we do the other camera?
Yeah, that way they can see. Yeah.
Can we see it? This camera's not on?
Yeah, flip the other camera and see if. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, we're doing this on the fly here. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, there's the. Oh, there it is. Perfect. See? Now, tomorrow, I.
It's like you're in witness protection.
Now, tomorrow. That's right. That's right. I can't giggle too much or do anything or scratch my head. Oops. I think this is funny. So, tomorrow I will wear the Historical Society version of this, which we have. But today, because we want to honor a dear friend of not only the community of Roswell, but the Historical Society, Jim Gill and the Roswell Seed family. Of course, we lost, our community lost another champion with the passing of Jim Gill. It was a beautiful ceremony on Friday. You were there and got to see it as well, too. Very special. I think the fact that you probably laughed as much as you cried Friday is a true testament to what Jim Gill was. You know what I mean? He made you laugh and made everything enjoyable. So as our little homage and tribute, and I think he would appreciate our goofiness here, for this interview and the rest of the show, we will don the Jim Gill Chrome Dome advertisement for Roswell Seed. And yeah, we'll figure it out. Yes. Well, and for folks that don't know, the Historical Society and the Humane Society were two of many, but one of two Gill family's tentpole passion projects. They really helped out the Historical Society in so many ways, financially, physically, too many to really give you the list here. And equally as much with the Humane Society as well too. They so many events and things. They just pay for all the food and pay for all the, when they try to have a fundraising or event or something. They basically anything that cost laden. We'll just pay for that so you can make profit and help the shelter out. That's they quietly been doing that kind of stuff for so many years. Historical Society. He was a board member a few years ago. Yeah.
That they did not have a whole table.
Yeah.
We don't want to just pay for a couple of eaters. We want to fill up a whole table, and generally they requested either volunteers or our youth. So our youth, our young kids that have volunteered. As a matter of fact, that's one of the funny I think that's the last conversation I had with Mr. Gill is about, are you ever going to go eat at a heritage dinner? Are you ever going to enjoy the food? And the irony is, he'd say, well, first of all, somebody might enjoy it more, but quite frankly, I'm allergic to so many things I can't eat it. But he joked and he said he was there. He was there. And, he was.
He was, absolutely.
He was. He was everywhere. And my husband and I were speaking of, you couldn't see in that darn whole building because of all the donations he had made of sponsorships.
Absolutely.
So that, in my mind, that's the first thing I think of too, is just that whole. You couldn't see in Roswell Seed because they had sponsored so many kids.
Absolutely. Well, and that's and obviously, for folks who don't know, Roswell Seed has been a business for 125 years or something like that.
They're very historically significant.
Exactly. Well, there's a reason why they're around like that, and the Gill family and the people that have established that, it's over the years. It's the track record of the studying of Roswell Seed and what they do, their expertise. Arguably, if you need seed and product and things, they're the best in the business when it comes to that around here. But then on top of that, you take that knowledge and then invest back into the community like the Gill family and Roswell Seed has done. You can't have a fair out at the fairgrounds without the Gill family and Roswell Seed involved in some way, shape, or form. You can't have many youth or other organizations having their events or of annual things without the Gill family or Roswell Seed some way, shape, or form, either directly or indirectly helping make things happen.
I think that one of the ironic things I was thinking about over the weekend, and we paid homage to him because we were in Las Cruces, so I was thinking about him over at Mexico State.
Yeah.
But he gave me a hard time. I didn't have quite the green thumb, but I think the part I am most honored is to have planted seeds, and that's human seeds.
Mm-hmm.
He planted seeds of impact that are a family chain link from here to California,
Sure.
I would imagine. And I did not have to grow dadgum plants to honor the legacy of Mr. Gill. And to me, I've got scholarships in my hand, begging and pleading for these kids to apply so we can impact lives. That's a Jim Gill planting of the seed, if you will. And and we can plant all the seeds we want in our gardens. And I hope and pray that Chaves County blooms, if you will, like more greater than ever before. But that's figuratively, literally, and that's our kids, our youth, and our gardens.
Absolutely.
And I'm part of a garden club, and that's the thing, Mike. We were out of town, and when I came back into town, I can't tell you how many emails I had of different organizations that I'm a part of, wanting to know how do we honor Jim Gill? I mean, whether it's the garden clubs and all that. And I think the fact of the matter is, if we can be weird and wacky with headbands and asking the historical society, putting the challenge. And by the way, the challenge is on. This was intentional. This is fun. This is weird. This is wacky. This is absolutely what Jim Gill would want. Yeah. And we are putting a challenge on there. So we want one organization, one club, one individual to take the challenge. Take the challenge. Put something weird and wacky on the back of Mike Winter's head.
There you go.
Or celebrate and just celebrate. It's a time of celebration. We've had a lot of loss lately. And so we need to come together and celebrate our kids, our plants, history. My goodness. Roswell Seed, since the beginning of, all of our pictures, Mike, every dadgum picture. If you've got a Main Street picture, Roswell Seed.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's, and it was, that was one of the beauties of Friday when they were, the stories people were telling, every one of them was impacting youth stuff or, his impact in some way, shape, or form. The scholarships that you're talking about earlier, he impacted so many ways there too, but also were those funny, lighthearted stories and the pictures. Yes. And they kind of did the picture stuff before, which was kind of a nice thing before, while people were sitting and waiting for the thing to begin. Yes. You got to see all the pictures. And the thing and this is someone like me who only knew Jim in the later years here I moved here in 20 years ago, but I knew Jim more in the later side of things when he's more established and not seeing Jim as a younger man. And so to see those photos of him, by the way, his mustache game in the 1980s, he had Tom Selleck jealous. That's all I'm saying. Tom Selleck's probably looking at that man's stash and going, man, that's a good stash.
He had mustache.
Because Jim Gill had it was a good stash his whole life. But his 80s stash was strong.
Hey, and you can respect. There's some respect there.
There was a strong stash game. I was impressed.
I just love that Jim Gill voice. Like I say, it's right. And I think that during this time, my husband and I, again, were speaking of, okay, it's that time of the year. We're going to Roswell Seed.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, there is so much a part of the fabric of Roswell that it is going to be hard to imagine the Gill family, Jim Gill not being a part of it here. And as we move on and as Roswell Seed moves on and whatever happens next, We are so thankful for the time we've had.
Yes.
And we
put a smile on that face. Give a joke when you need to. Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Let's smile. Let's laugh. Let's enjoy.
I've never
plant seeds.
I've never heard a church laugh harder than when we played the medley of radio of Jim's sayings and everything through his radio ads out there. Because it's all old farmer tales and farmer wisdom. And it was just one was funnier than the next, and it's just over the years of him doing those ads and telling his stories, you forget how much of an impact it has till you start hearing them all together. It's like, man, I forgot how much he's impacted.
Well, and I think that's something, Mike, that we represent on behalf of the Historical Society is our lives are so busy. We're all working hard. We're trying to catch up and do all the things. I don't know how it gets, as we get older, it gets harder. I don't know how in the world all these amazing people like Jim Gill did everything they did, impact so many lives, and we're just spinning around trying to catch up. But on behalf of the Historical Society, I think it's so important in all seriousness. We need a copy of that video while I'm thinking about it, and we need to put that in our archive facility because for future generations that didn't know and might just see a building or a sign or a face, my goodness, there was a lot behind that mustache.
Behind it, yeah.
And we need to preserve, we need to promote, and for future generations that say, who was Jim Gill? Those are the things we need. And I am so proud to be part of the Historical Society. We may not get everything right. We work our butts off to try, and I think the intention's there to promote and preserve history, if you will. And I never thought of we would be speaking on the radio against past tense of Jim Gill. But as far as I'm concerned, his legacy will live on forever, surpassing all of us. And we just need to do anything and everything we can to honor his legacy. And think about those posters. Think about those kids. Think about everything we can do right here, right now, to get over ourselves and shut our gripey, groaning mouths and do a Jim Gill something. And that is laugh, plant, help, bless, smile,
Make the world a better place.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. So the challenge is greater. It's not about the back of Mike Winter's.
Yeah. This is just us being goofballs. But
it's what Jim Gill would want us to do. And it's not a somber time because I think it is clear and evident we need to say, well done, good and faithful servant. And he's going to go live the Lord life.
We're celebrating a life well lived.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. But Jim Gill would also want individuals listening to be reminded after the end of this week, ladies and gentlemen, our deadline will surpass.
Yes.
And we are low in numbers with applications. It appears we've got a little bit of a slacking epidemic.
It is Manana City. Like in everything that's going on.
Next level.
Like team leadership, we were having trouble getting people. And then at the last minute, everybody
Desi, if you're listening, Mike, we were at 11:30 at night, deadline night, still getting things. So we should be in high numbers and we're not.
Yeah.
And God bless these kids that are doing a lot of things. They need to get their tails home and apply for our scholarships.
Hopefully you worked on these in the spring break here and you're just dotting your I's and crossing your T's. And
I know I was sending emails late last night. We've got it on newspaper, radio, TV. I mean, we've got it all covered. But humanities and arts, STEM, character, and continuing ed, the support of people like Jim Gill help us to do what we're doing, including the Linda Hayes Trust. But these kids need to apply. And the deadline is March the 29th. Mike, I can't believe that deadline is almost here.
Next
we're
week
here.
Yeah.
We're here.
It's
yes.
this week, end of this week. Yeah, end of this week.
So basically, if you waited until Easter, it's too late.
Yep.
If you're celebrating Easter and hunting Easter eggs, it's too late.
Absolutely.
So call these kids, encourage these kids, and not just kids. Continuing ed, you can be 19, you can be 60.
Absolutely.
We've got applications.
We do have a few applicants that are a little older than 18.
So apply and let's get this. If you have any more, if you have any questions, call 622-8333. You can email me at historydirector@outlook.com or go to our website, roswellmhistory.org. You will be able to look right there and see all the flashing lights for our scholarship applications. It will take a little bit of time, but it is not something a student can do all in one day because they'll need referrals, the recommendations and the transcripts. So please get those applications in.
This is some great, depending on where you go to school, you could pay for a semester like at Eastern.
Direct
for sure.
check right to you.
Absolutely.
And that's
Yeah.
something special we work hard to do. They're at the direct need. These checks will go directly to the students, not to the schools that they will be applying for. So those fees, books, and all of that,
Sure.
we will.
Whatever costs you have that are incurred for your higher education, you can use this for, whether it's books or to buy a computer to do your term papers, whatever it is,
Yes,
we can do all
and that's what it's all about.
Yep.
And I'm so glad to be putting scholarships and Jim Gill in the same time frame because I just it's
again,
just
getting back to what you said at the beginning, you couldn't see out the windows because he was supporting every high school cheerleader, football player, basketball player, volleyball player, soccer player out there.
And I love that he supported all schools, and the underdogs,
Red, blue,
all
Gateway, everything in between.
Broad spectrum. He just saw kids as kids. He saw potential as potential. He saw the good in people, and we want to do the same thing. And I just can't think of, if this is part of our legacy, I'm all in, and I'm just proud to be a part of something that can give back to the community and honor people like Jim Gill for future generations.
Yep. Again, if you go to roswellnmhistory.org, that is the Historical Society's website. You can get your applications for the Hayes Family Trust scholarships. Again, you've got this week to get your applications in and turned in because that ends at the end of this week. Friday, close of business. We're not taking any more applications. But like you said, we're a little light on numbers turned in, and I know how this works. Thursday and Friday, we'll probably get them all pouring in.
We will.
Like a sieve. But I want you to make it hard for our selection committee. Every year, they have a difficult time because every single applicant is worthy of this. And there are so many scholarships we can give. And so we want you to make it hard for them.
For sure. No paper applications. It's not even fit. It's
all
not
online.
possible. Yeah. It's all Google Documents. We get this every year. Somebody will try for whatever reason. It is not acceptable. This is for the convenience of the kids to go directly into portals through the Google Docs. We cannot accept any paper applications. They would need to all apply directly through the Google documentations. I think somewhere out there on the email and the website Abyss, there's some paper application from like 5 years ago.
Yeah, don't use that.
Don't use that.
Well, to be honest, the scholarships aren't even the same ones.
No, they're not.
We've added since
and
then.
I'm proud to say, you're right. We keep adding. And quite frankly, if you use the old application, the numbers are higher.
I was say you're lowballing. You're going to be like, wow, there's more money here than I thought.
There is more money. So
About
we are
double,
giving out $1,250 per scholarship. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot of money. We send to a lot of scholarship assemblies, and we're offering high scholarships to help kids.
Absolutely.
So we're really proud
and in
of
various like the continuing education, that's really for anyone that's going to school.
Trade school training.
The character one is really for everyone because everyone has character. Just how do you display yours?
You better believe it.
And then obviously STEM. And the others are
Humanity and
more
arts. We want to.
They're kind of geared
some,
towards.
That's our original scholarship too. The first ever scholarship we gave is under humanities and arts. Kids can apply for more than one for like a major and a minor.
Yeah, so
and then you could still apply for the character. So we have kids that apply for all three.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Now,
if that applies.
Now, all fairness, you're probably not going to win.
Not going to get all. Yep, that's right.
Because we do want to spread the love and everyone's worthy. But if you're in multiple scholarships, you got a better chance of winning one of them.
That's exactly right.
Maybe you didn't win the STEM, but you got the character.
That's right.
Vice
and we
versa,
love to see
like
these
that.
kids trying. So we just really want to encourage these kids to apply today. And don't wait till that last second because you need to have all your information.
And it's so cool. It's and we've done this long enough, thanks to the Hayes family, that we're now seeing kids that have long gone and done stuff, and they're now, got their lives established, and they're living their dreams, and they're coming back and sharing them with us.
They are great stories.
Seeing the direct
great stories. We've got a lot of kids
result.
coming. Right. Yes.
So, end of this week, drop dead deadline again. Thank you to the Gill family and to Roswell Seed for everything that they do and continue to do for our community.
So our challenge is on. My cell phone number is 575-915-4471. I'm going to really put somebody on the spot, and let's get somebody to accept this challenge. And we will produce some type of fun, whatever your logo is or whatever, to put on the back of Mike Winter's head.
That's right.
And the challenge is on. Let's have some fun in honor of the Historical Society. And Mike Winters has some fun with this, too.
Well, and
so
we
it's
did
all
this
good.
to kind of kick it off and show the Gill family just how much we appreciate what they've done to not only the Historical Society, but for our community.
And that Gill family is a big family.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of Gills.
And we're sending love
I'm
and
about to say,
hugs
when they
and prayers.
came in the room, it got a lot more crowded real quick when they brought them all in. I was like, wow, there's a lot.
So we are all one big extended family.
Absolutely. And then of
sending
course,
love.
we do want to remind folks that tomorrow I will have the Historical Society logo. Thanks to our generous anonymous donor who's donating $1,000 for me to wear that on my head
Thank
tomorrow.
you. Thank you.
I'm going to
and
wear
that's
it
what it's all about.
from 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. I will wear it the whole time during the show.
There you go.
And we'll do that. But in the meantime, go hug on this family a little bit,
And
show them some love.
on a final note, the Historical Society has been hit with some more tragedy, and no names need to be involved, but a sweet family lost a really special person.
Oh, no.
And you know who you are, and we're going to show love. We're just going to show love. So you know who you are. I know you're a faithful listener. We love you.
It's been a lot
and
lately.
we have.
I've heard more and more.
So Grace lost another one, and we're just gonna. It doesn't matter what the name is. Just show love on behalf of the Historical Society. We've got a great family, and we'll come together, and that's what it's all about.
You know what? We need some happy stuff.
We do.
Spring's about happy and love.
And we can go bigger with this thing.
Absolutely.
So let's put a challenge that Mike says, what you want me to do?
If any engineers have better ways to do this whole thing,
we'll work out something.
This was on the fly real quick.
You know what?
But
It was a long weekend,
Yeah.
and I should have
this is
thought.
funny. I like
That's
it.
all right. You know what? I think Jim Gill would be proud.
I think
and
so.
we're seeing that logo. You know what? The light's kind of shining right there on that Roswell seed.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, and if they need to hang this in there with the other things that they do on there, we can make sure after it's off my cabeza.
Hey, somebody might want to put that on the back of their head at Roswell.
That's right.
I'm
We
just
can
saying.
make a thing, you know. Touch my head first. I don't know if that makes it more or less
That's
valuable.
Right,
but but tomorrow I will wear this again with the Historical Society logo on the top. So that's our thing. And again, for folks with those scholarships, get that done. This is days now. You've got the end of this week to get those applications turned in. And, of course, if you're interested in becoming a part of the Historical Society, becoming a member, or if, graduations and stuff right around the corner, if you have a little graduation party, don't forget Archive Facility
Archives building.
is rental available. Of course, we're getting into warmer weather. If you have wedding receptions or quinceañeras, things like that, we've got about 75 can handle comfortably in that Archives Facility.
A lot of senior pictures.
Of course, thanks to our lovely gardeners and our green thumbers.
Fred's over there at the museum right now. Thank you to Fred.
They make the property look beautiful every year, especially around this time when the things start blooming and the grass starts.
Shout out to All Star Landscaping. We love you, Cameron. They work their tails off to help us out. We've had a lot of people help, though. To give one name, that's a whole family. But thank you to everybody helping us on our grounds and property.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it. That's a handful.
Well, and this is I ain't gonna lie, this is our Sunday dress season. You know, spring is like arguably the most beautiful time to be at the Historical Society and the J.P. White home is the spring when the flowers are blooming and the plants are doing its thing and all that. That's I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Anytime it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
But when the grass is doing what it's supposed to do, and the trees are blooming,
working on new signs. We've got a lot going on.
It's also pretty at Christmas time with the lights and everything too. But it's a different kind of pretty.
That is. Right now, it's our Jim Gill pretty. We're gonna make Jim Gill proud.
This is Roswell Sea Green.
And those magnolia trees that Jim Gill resuscitated for over the years. You know, let's keep them going, all in the name of Jim Gill.
That's right. We need the next generation to help us keep them trees. Nobody at the Historical Society has a green thumb. We outsource all that.
We have
the garden club.
Hey, we're
we have
working
some help,
on it. We work hard. That is true. Huge shout out to the Morning Garden Club for what they do to help outside too.
They make us look very pretty.
They do. Thank you. Thank you.
Again, many hands.
That's true.
Get involved in doing things. And if you want to get involved with the Historical Society docents, we're always looking for volunteers to that. If you want to have some fun there, or if you perhaps have a historical angle that maybe a host of one of our Sunday Fun Days or something like that. We'd love to have you. Or of course, as we get going on here, we're going to have more events with Donna and John and stuff throughout here. And
we've got the R&M event coming up. Yep. A lot of fun things.
RoswellNMhistory.org. Check out everything we do. If you want to get some John or Donna's.
John's got some new books coming out.
We got those.
John's got new books.
And to be honest, you can find them on Amazon, and please buy them at Amazon.
Please.
Help John out. But when you buy them through the Historical Society, John and Donna, them have agreed to give a portion to us. So
thank you for mentioning that, because we've had some locals purchase online.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say this on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
We will deliver that book.
Yep.
Save you money, save us money, and you can get an autograph. We're all in, and I have no problem. We'll just put it in the mailbox, kind of thing. We'll deliver it.
Yeah, we could even beat the 2-day Amazon Prime thing, depending on where you live. We got to be
special delivery with an autograph.
Exactly. So
we'd be happy to do that.
But we asked that if you'd like to help out the Historical Society that way. If you do see the books on Amazon, maybe you can find it. Go back and look on Historical Society's page, and you can order it that way. It's not going to be any less or more expensive, but a portion of those will go back and help. And John and Donna both are integral parts, and their passions for the Historical Society. There's a reason why they're much involved and why they write what they do. It's because their interests share with the Historical Society.
For sure. And we've got a lot of herd prints. People have been buying herd prints. I guess maybe at spring cleaning, put something new up. So we've got a lot of herd prints.
Good deal. If you want to drop the old decor and go with some new stuff,
we
absolutely.
have. We've been getting some inquiries. So thanks for everything. We appreciate what you do.
Absolutely.
And all in the name of Jim Gill.
And get those applications for scholarships in.
Please do.
Friday's your drop dead deadline here.
Hard to believe, but and it will be here. So call 622-8333 for additional information, or you can text me at 575-915-4471. If you have any problems, need help, we'll help you in any way possible.
That's right. And if your yard looks like shambles, go see these people right here, right there. Them the ones.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right there. They will fix you up. And God bless the Jim Gill and his family and everybody at Roswell Seed. We're praying for you and praying that we give you loving support during this time of grieving for you guys and everyone.
Yes.
But particularly the family that day in and day out had John. We're lucky enough to have Jim Gill in their life every single day.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Good deal. Did we get it all, Amy?
I bet we did.
All right. Well,
we're trying. If we missed it, until next time.
Well, good deal. But so tomorrow when you tune in, you wonder why I'm wearing this, we'll explain it again tomorrow all over again. But good deal.
Happy day, everybody.
Have
a great
Amy,
Monday.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
All right. And thank you for making my accoutrement.
We tried. That's all right.
I like it. Looks good. I like it. Not bad.
Hey, it does got that effect. You're looking right into it.
And
So that's a good thing.
dare I say, it might help me out in the sun a little bit too. So got to wind up for him. All right, 9:55. Let's pause for news, and you're handed the update before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. We begin with a traffic alert for you. The New Mexico Department of Transportation, in cooperation with Cutler Repaving, is resuming roadway, mill, and fill rehab on New Mexico 176 near Eunice. The project actually already started this past Thursday and won't be completed until the end of April, weather permitting. New Mexico 176 is now reduced to one lane, both directions during the day, so you will encounter a pilot car with flagging operations throughout the duration of the work. The Hotel Artesia is undergoing a brand change after being bought by Henry Bacta of Prominence Hospitality. The Daily Press is reporting that 5-Star Hospitality will manage the property, transforming it into a Spark by Hilton. The developer is working with an architect and an engineer for the renovation project that's scheduled to begin in May. The new hotel is expected to be open again by the end of the year. Bacta also owns the La Quinta Inn at 2207 West Main Street. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Your morning espresso starts right here. It's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
What do we have from Joe Biden? Oh, let me put forward a $7.3 trillion budget. Do you not realize how bad this is? That we're going to be at 150% of GDP, which is unsustainable. We can't survive as a country with numbers that bad. The U.S. national debt could quickly reach 130% of GDP, shooting well past $50 trillion. Let me tell you, it may sound good on paper if you're not part of the wealthy, but every corporation that they raise taxes on, every rich person they raise taxes on, that's less money they're going to be spending and investing that's going to benefit all of us and create jobs and goods and services at prices that we can actually afford and that we want, need, and desire.
The Sean Hannity Show from coast to coast later today.
Attention business owners, are you tired of seeing your hard-earned profits vanish into thin air due to hefty credit card processing fees? It's time for a change. 247payments.com has a software solution that eliminates your fees, offering you unlimited processing for just $49 a month. Ready to keep more of what you earn? Call us at 1-844-535-0385. That's 1-844-535-0385. Call now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else. Or the frost might kill them. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 10 o'clock. That's going to do it for us. If you missed any part of the show, have an amazing day. You can go back and check out your leisure, ksvptv.com. You'll find all of our interviews there. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your day. I can never thank you enough for that. I'll be wearing this with the Roswell Historical Society tomorrow, but one more time with Roswell C. Jim Gill here. Big thank you to them and all that. So,
news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. New York courts has agreed to hold off collection of former President Trump's $454 million civil fraud judgment if he puts up a $175 million bond within 10 days. If the former president does, it will stop the clock on collection and prevent the state from seizing